Right, should we get down to business? Can I talk like this all the way through?
I dare you.
I get my head damaged, I think, wouldn't I? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wrexham. Welcome to iPlayer. No, I follow. Oops, got the wrong name. I used to be iPlayer. Happy days. Anyway, and here we are at the Den, the most visceral of all football venues for Wrexham to test themselves against a Millwall team that are going really, really well at the moment. This is a proper test against a side who's only lost one game, and that game that they lost, well, it looks bad, 3-0 here at against Middlesbrough, but the truth of the matter is that, well, they played very well, and with 3 minutes left they were 1-0 down, having had a stone cold penalty turned down when it was 0-0. Middlesbrough then scored with 3 minutes left with their second shot of the game. So, yeah, it was somewhat flattering to Middlesbrough as the teams are in the tunnel ready to come out. The Wrexham fans are making great noise. They've got the top tier of one of the stands behind the goals, and it's always an occasion here. It's always loud here at Millwall. I'm Mark Griffiths. I'm joined, of course, with Andy Morrell and Mia Roberts, and we'll be bringing you this match live and exclusive on iFollow. The Wrexham side, a couple of interesting selections. We've got Danny Ward in goal. Then Callum Doyle comes in to make his first league start for us. So good to see he's got enough energy in his legs to line up in a back three alongside Connor Cody and Max Cleworth. Libby Kakache comes in at left wing back, and that combination between Doyle and Kakache is something I'm very eager to see. So good to see that he's fit. On the right, Ryan Longman. In the centre midfield, Matty James will be flanked by Lewis O'Brien and George Dobson. And then up front, Kiefer Moore is partnered, in the absence of the injured Nathan Broadhead, by Ryan Hardy. So, an interesting lineup. Interesting on the bench to see that Tom O'Connor and Dan Scarr are on there. Neither of them made an appearance yet in the league. Scarr hasn't been on the bench yet in the league. I think it was inevitable after Tuesday that Hardy was liable to get the nod alongside Moore, wasn't it? He played very well.
Yeah, he did very well, and we were talking before, Mark, about this partnership, Kiefer Moore and Ryan Hardy. We haven't seen it yet in the league. They haven't played 1 minute together, but I think managed about 11 minutes on the pitch together on Tuesday night against Preston, and looked very good, and we obviously got the win in the end, so very positive. But like you say, you look on that bench, only Sam Smith, the sole striker there. We didn't think we'd be saying that a few weeks ago, that sort of need for strikers. We thought we had, too many, if anything, in the building. So that could be something to keep an eye on, maybe, more players through the door. We just don't know. We know Phil Parkinson's said he's still not quite happy, but he's getting closer to that squad he's looking for in the Championship. But like you say, the headlines today have got to be on Callum Doyle and Kakache obviously coming back in for James McLean. We didn't have the greatest of games last week, but I'm sure he'll be looking to get off the bench and produce something again today. But a huge opportunity for Kakache and Callum Doyle. Like you said, Callum Doyle had a brilliant hour or so on Tuesday night, and a great opportunity for him today to make his mark in the league.
The Wrexham bench, as I said, Arthur Okonkwo, Lewis Brunt, James McLean, Tom O'Connor, Dan Scarr, Sam Smith, Ryan Barnett, Elliot Lee and Harry Ashfield. As for Millwall, well, having won in midweek in the League Cup, they revert pretty much back to their strongest team, although Denora, the central midfielder from Belgium, is out injured. They have other injuries as well, and Japhet Tanganga has left. Their outstanding centre-back has gone to Sheffield United. They brought in Caleb Taylor, who on loan at Wycombe from West Brom last season made a big impact as they nearly managed to pip us, of course, to that second promotion spot. He's on the bench today. So they line up with Stephen Bender, German goalkeeper. Across the back, from on the right-hand side, Ryan Leonard, and left back Zach Sturge, Tristan Kramer and Jake Cooper are the central defenders. Alex Neil tends to be very flexible. The holding midfielder Massimo Luongo, also in midfield, you'd think on the right Camille Megley, on the left Luke Kundle, with Idemo Amaku pushing forwards. Josh Coburn and Mihailo Vanovic up front. There will now be a minute's silence for Tim Sells, ex-Millwall player who sadly passed away.
Rest in peace, Tim.
Wow, did you hear that? I love coming here. I gotta say, it's proper football support, and I've never heard a minute's applause like that. Goodness me, that was terrific. The Wrexham fans making lots of noise. Wrexham will be kicking towards the Millwall fans in the first half as Danny Ward applauds the Wrexham supporters behind his goal. But it's such an atmosphere here, and the Millwall fans, like I said, are terrific when they're in full voice. Wrexham have got a real test this afternoon as we wait for the referee, Thomas Kirk, to get us underway. I'm pleased to say that after the issues that we had with our audio on Tuesday, there's everyone, including my top audio man, Peter Jones, is listening in and says it's all sounding good. As Wrexham get things underway, Cleworth going long, Moore immediately pulling his man to the ground, no foul given, slightly surprising, although perhaps Cooper played for it a bit, and Wrexham win it back in midfield. Dobson lifts it, Hardy will look to get in behind Cooper, awkward bounce, the centre-back as well, but then struggles to clear it. Cleworth in the midfield as well, stepping up to find Longman, whose touch lets him down, throw into Millwall, but yeah, this is always going to be a test of character as well as technique here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if we're going to go with our normal longer ball into Kiefer Moore, all four defenders for Millwall are over 6 foot plus. Jake Cooper hitting the heights of 6'6", but they've already got into one duel there already, and this is going to be a scuffle, it's going to be a fight ball. I'm interested to see how the two formations turn in, because very rarely do you come up against a 4-4-2 that Millwall have sort of got. Yes, they're flexible off that, but they should have overloads on each side, but we should have a spare man in the middle of the pitch, so can we utilise that?
Well, we certainly did in the second half at Preston when we worked the ball around beautifully, in contrast to that second half against Sheffield Wednesdays. Here now is Millwall working the ball very nicely. Luongo helps it on. The ball forwards was covered nicely by Kakache, and Doyle is there to tidy it up. Kakache again, poor pass into midfield. Luongo breaks it up once more, and Millwall have it back. Ball forwards, picks out Colburn, who goes down and wins a free kick in midfield. Yeah, they're fluent. Alex Neil, as a manager, likes his teams to get down and move the ball around, and they have loads of height, as you said, because Kundl, the target man, Colburn, beg your pardon, is a big fella, and he's up there. So is the massive Cooper. Wrexham holding a line about 20 yards out as the free kick is lofted in. Kiefer Moore's back defending against Cooper. Cleworth as well to just get up ahead of the two of those giants and head it partly away. And it's back to the halfway line. Sturge stands up a diagonal. Wardle comes, it's too close to him, takes it comfortably. Hardy wants an early delivery. I think Ward is wise just to slow things down. And Wrexham will build out from the back once more. Ward with the ball at his feet. Goes long this time, looking for Moore, who's pulled out onto Kramer, the other centre-back, and helps it on well, but Hardy won't get there. Quick work and a nice touch by Kundl. Playing in the centre of midfield, having played off the striker in the last match. Moore pulls his man to the ground. Wrexham are working hard to stop Millwall getting that ball forwards in the Millwall half. There's Cooper with a long ball, and it's something to chase, but much too much on that. Ward will handle it comfortably. Interesting to see Mihailo Ivanovic lining up. There's supposedly quite a bit of interest from Serie A in him, a talented young Serbian striker who's a real asset for Millwall. Ward goes long, Moore takes it well on the chest, it drops though kindly for Megri, who works it inside, well read by Cody, and Cody over the top looking for the pace of Hardy. He's overhit that though, he'll go out for the throw in, but Hardy will give you that running down the channels, won't he?
Well, I think that's why this pairing might work so well, is because Ryan Hardy does love that one into the channel, and Moore really enjoys the one into his body. So those two could, if they could get a few games together, maybe the relationship, maybe the partnership that could move us forward.
Millwall looking to build out from the back, a ball forwards, and Ivanovic does very well to lay it off. O'Brien looks to be fouled there, ref doesn't give it, he gets up. And now Millwall are breaking forwards again. Luongo it was with a hard tackle on O'Brien. Ball is stood up to the far post. Nice idea that. And it's brought down by Imaki, who cuts inside, gets at the edge of the area, right-footed shot, can't control it properly. Wrexham held their shape well, but we've got the worst XG against in the entire division, and we desperately need to tighten things up at the back, don't we?
Yeah, it's because of the number of shots we're giving away. I think we're at about 60, 65, probably 66 after that one now. You know, compared to the rest of the league, I think we're about 15, 16 ahead from second place, and we're just far too open in those sort of moments. And that means teams are getting so many chances against us, and you're just always going to be on the back foot when you're allowing that sort of space.
Moore again has pulled across onto Kramer, but the centre back handles him well and works it across to the left hand side. Sturge with a little bit of room. Dobson comes across to stop him coming into the Wrexham half, and he goes backwards. Cooper across again to Kramer, and he feeds it down the line that will run on the flank. It created space in the middle of the pitch, which was used neatly by Negri. The Millwall shifting it around from side to side in their own half, just trying to pull Wrexham's midfielders wider apart. Cleworth reads well as the ball's fed forwards towards Coburn, prods it for a throw in 30 yards out from the Wrexham goal, left hand side. Sturge back into his own half. Remember, you can get in touch using the hashtag AskWrexham. That's ASKWXM on Twitter and Blue Skies. The ball's played forwards and just about tidied up by Kakache. Knocks a long ball towards Moore, gets a head on it to nod it down, but Wrexham aren't feeding him off at the moment. Ball's fed forwards. Heavy touch by Ivanovic, and now Dobson, good intelligence, works it wide and early again, asking a lot of Hardy, but he's won it brilliantly now. Then Hardy cutting in from the flank, hasn't got much support, gets to the corner of the box and runs into the challenge. Hardy is adamant it's a foul. Parkinson is too. It was clumsy defending. I don't know, did he run into him more than get tripped?
Well, it's definitely a decision for the referee to make. I did think Hardy had sort of knocked the ball past him, and then Cooper does lunge. So it is one of them. You sort of think, well, if the referee makes that decision, he's then maybe got a few more decisions to make following on from that. But yeah, you can definitely see why Phil Parkinson's having a few words with the fourth official.
Yeah.
But how well does Hardy do just to begin that move? Looks like a ball from Dobson, great idea, but it looks like it's just going to go out. He does really well to get his body in there.
Yeah, he was out-muscled Sturge, and if the ref had given the decision, I mean, let's be honest, probably has to give a red card. Just outside the box, but there's no way the defenders are coming across to cover Hardy. So anyway, Sturge with a free kick up towards the edge of the area again. Overhit. Ward is having a nice, easy warm-up in the first 7 minutes of this match, is taking overhit balls into his area from deep. Cody wants the ball rolled to feet. Ward obliges. And Cody goes long. Good ball to Moore, who's able to bring it down on the halfway line. Kakache now. Back inside to O'Brien. Wrexham looking to get a bit more possession on the ball in their half. Cody over the top. That's a nice ball for Longman. Takes it on the chest. Awkward take, but brings it down well. Sturge grabbing hold of him. Stops him from going past him. But Wrexham again with solid position. And Longman's making a nice run. Cody looks to find him. Just gets it too straight. In fact, Hardy was closer to getting there first, but goes through to the keeper.
Yeah, I think he just in a bit two minds. Did he hit Hardy or did he go Longman? So just ends up going down the middle. Just like you say, a bit too much on it. But already Hardy looks bright, doesn't he? Oh, definitely with Longman on his side as well. A lot of positives to take so far.
As Millwall dink it forwards, it's Doyle underneath it, beaten in the air, but it bounces straight through. I'm just thinking then, Sturge getting too tight on Longman and having to use his hands. I mean, the ref allowed it, but having to use his hands to sort of make sure he couldn't get past him. Just wonder if Longman is getting the message from that of, okay, he doesn't think he can deal with me. He's already a bit concerned, because straight away he made a run in behind him. I think Longman's just thought, okay, that felt like a green light. That's nice passing by Wrexham. Dobson to James and on to Longman. Sturge is going to catch Longman here as he sweeps an early cross too close to the keeper. Disappointing that with three players attacking the box.
Yeah, really good play down this right hand side to play out. Longman goes on the overlap, and Kiefer Moore's, he's not breaking his backside to get right in the mix for the cross. He's just sort of pulling off on the edge of the box, calling for it, and then Longman goes to feed it into that channel in between defence and goalkeeper and just gets it a little bit wrong and too close to the keeper.
Millwall building again, Negley going over the top, and he is the target, and there's a gap here, but again it's too straight. They're playing a lot of those balls from deep looking for runners, and thus far, I mean, they're not the easiest passes to get right, and thus far they're not getting it right. Ward's fielding them all. Ball forwards, Hardy takes it well on the chest, Longman snappily back to Cleworth. I think Wrexham got to be happy with the way we're knocking the ball around in these early stages. As the ball back to Ward, has to stab it into midfield, intercepted by Luongo, who's doing a lot of good work covering in the double pivots in front of his back four. Then move it around nicely. Millwall, O'Brien able to get there before Luongo's helped it over to the right hand side, and now a ball fed to the edge of the area. Ivanovic has lovely play, but it's really well intercepted by Kagache, who read the danger, accelerated well, and has put out for a throw by the corner flag.
Yeah, he has read it really well there, because there was a moment where they just had that overlapped man on the right hand side for Millwall. So Kakachi does really well, reads it, makes sure he gets back in, doesn't allow the corner either, puts it out for the throw. Looks like it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, Ryan Leonard is lining it up. He's got a reasonable amount of space. Ben Tozer would approve on the sides of the pitch. He's leaning back against the hoarding, steps in now, slings it into the near post, flicked on dangerously. Oh, not quite hit by Coburn. Big block by O'Brien, and it's drilled clear. Dangerous moments that Sturges as well to anticipate and play it down the left. And now Wrexham will have to stand up once more as Mackley plays a great return ball. Sturge round the back, drills in across, half cleared by Cody, driven back in. Cleworth volleys it away. But first, really good pressure by Millwall, and they've still got it. Ball fed down the right hand side. There's an overlap on from Leonard, but instead Millwall come inside and back to Luongo on the halfway line. Wrexham getting their shape back. Kakache did well then just to step out and stop the turn being on. Now then, good foot in by Longman. Dobson under pressure, can't find the return ball, but plays it back, and more over the top. That hung in the air for a moment. Thought it was going to go through for Hardy. O'Brien's done well to win that. The backspin will keep it in, and he chases it down himself. Only Hardy's kept up with him, so he holds on to it. Back to Dobson. Millwall look quite open when we're coming forwards. Dobson with a raking ball the width of the pitch, and Kakache's got acres of room here. Left-footed cross headed away at the near post. Needed more on it. Helped on well too, and picked up front by Coburn, who does well to hold that up. Ball over the left-hand side again is much too strong, and Ward let that roll, but there's a real open feeling. This game feels stretched already.
Yeah, I think Millwall are just looking for the press when we do have the ball, so if we can beat that, then we're potentially out, especially with Longman high and wide. Kakache there getting into a really good position from a great diagonal ball from Dobson. Just gets his cross wrong. Good movement from Moore in the middle just to go to his preferred position of back post, but just hits the front man.
Ward's going long from the goal kick. It's a beautiful sunny day until about an hour ago. It's quite blustery here now as Moore goes up and can't reach it. Throw in to Leicester at 10 yards short to the right hand side. I suppose it's getting on a bit, this ground now. Must be around 25-30 years old, but it looks a bit more in decent shape than I think it did last time I came here with Wrexham, which would have been a good 20 years ago. The ball is knocked long. Cody wrestling with Coburn, who chests it down really well. He's a big unit, Coburn. Lays it back to the halfway line. Sturge back into midfield where Hardy tries to hassle Kundle. Kundle square, but there's space now for Kramer to come into. 35 yards out, works out wide onto the right flank and gets it back from Leonard. Wrexham holding that mid-block. Ivanovic just trying to make a little run in behind Doyle, but Wrexham had it covered, and so Millwall didn't play it into him. Sturge instead down the line, left-hand side again, danger, and Mackley again cuts inside Longman. Good ball, shooting chance now. Coburn across the face of goal and intercepted brilliantly by Kagache. Again, great feat by him, gets him out of trouble, and he wins a throw-in as he brings it clear. But yeah, they work their way around the back of Wrexham's defence too easily there.
Yeah, they did. I think it was Coburn just made a lovely little run in behind Max Cleworth, who's just caught sleeping a little bit, just body shape not quite right. And to be fair, he catches really well, but just on the inside, just thinking from Millwall point of view, I think it's Negley. He's just hanging, waiting for that cutback. If he goes across goal, it's probably a guaranteed 1-0 Millwall.
Yeah, Cody just got a touch on it at the near post, didn't he? But there was no one really attacking it anyway. But yeah, Wrexham lucky there as from the restart. O'Brien brings the ball down well, holds it up well. Kakache over the top, that's a nice idea, but overhit. But again, Wrexham just looking to use Hardy, who's getting up onto the shoulder of the last defender and is looking very mobile. Here's Sturge once more, the out ball again. He goes long, looking for Coburn, and again they overhit it, and Cody and Cleworth under control. Goal kick to Wrexham.
Just start really deep though. I think Dobson's the one. He's trying. Come on! If I'm going to press, there's a huge hole I'm leaving behind me, and we're so deep. Can we just get those gaps between units a little bit tighter, push up the pitch, and then he's more than likely going to go pressing with it 100% rather than a little bit off, because he knows that he's going to have to run back in a couple of minutes.
Short goal kick, and Cody goes long. Moore beaten in the air by Cooper, well won by Dobson, scrapping in the middle of the pitch. Kakache just beaten to it by Leonard, but headed clear by Doyle. Luongo now put under pressure on the halfway line by O'Brien, just launches it up in the air and out of play for a throw to Wrexham, 10 yards short of the halfway line. Wrexham fans filling the top tier of the goal behind the goal, the stand behind the goal, which is the larger of the two tiers. The bottom one is kept empty, I think, for segregation purposes as much as anything else, and they're making an excellent noise. The thing with Millwall, of course, terrific support they have, but if the game's not going their way, sort of crowd will turn as well. I've seen both of those things happening here in Wrexham games, believe you me.
We're just trying to look at the setup of Millwall, and Negley, he's not playing as a wide right, he is tucking right in. It's a little bit like the way Brian Flynn used to play with Carl Connolly. So Umanku out this side left, he's the full out and out winger. He's the one that will keep Longman back in, penned in, and Max give him the trouble. But Negley's just dropping inside the pitch, and then it's Kakache's going to have to work out who he takes to a step inside, because Leonard's not too shy either of going on and bombing on. Just there's a lot of decisions to be made and ironed out.
Ball's worked wide by Millwall. On the left hand side, Cundle back into his own half. Yeah, Paul Negley has got the Kevin Russell role then of trying to cover the wide men and the players in the middle of the pitch, as that's a snappy passing by Millwall, but actually dispossessed well by Longman, and calm play by Cody to find Longman again. Great tackle on him, but Longman recovers, and it's an accurate ball up towards Hardy, battling against two defenders. He does well, but then tries to backheel it against Cundle for a throw, and it sticks between Cundle's feet, and he can then work it into the centre circle. Millwall getting ahead of steam up after a slow start. Ball fed in towards the edge of the area. Excellent again from Cody, just nips in ahead of Ivanovic, and then O'Brien had a chance there to feed Moore in. He made a nice run inside Kramer, but the pass wasn't accurate, and the French centre-back was able to intercept it. Here again is Sturge, feeds it inside nicely, and a soft free kick. Cleworth pushes him in the back. Free kick in midfield. 18th minute here, still 0-0. Millwall fans applauding as their subs come to warm up, including, of course, Caleb Taylor, who signed from yesterday. And then, as you can hear, James McLean comes out to warm up and gets a less friendly welcome. Free kick, Sturge will take about 10 yards into Wrexham territory. Sturge stands it up, and it's headed well away by Cleworth. Comes back in again, blocked by Moore, and then hooked clear by O'Brien. Hardy will be beaten to it on the halfway line by Leonard, and Luongo stands the ball into the far post where Cooper is, but he misjudges his header. It skids off top of his head and behind for the goal kick. So Wrexham having to just dig in a bit here and earn the right to stick in the game as Millwall begin to get some momentum going.
Yeah, we've seen it. Sorry, Mark. We've seen it a few times, though, where Millwall have made that ball, have got that ball wrong a couple of times already, and there is that opportunity for us to be there on the counter. Just got to get that range right when we're looking at that pass immediately over to whether it's keeper Moore or Ryan Hardy.
From the goal kick, Millwall have it, but Doyle intercepts, and Wrexham have it back at the edge of their own area. Cody again going long, looking for Moore, who heads it on nicely, but a lot of distance between him and Hardy though, and so he just has to try and hope Hardy's made the run he's anticipating, and it falls for Sturge instead. Long clearance, good work by Doyle, just a little nudge on Ivanovic, and he beats him in the air. Nice layoff as well by Dobson, and O'Brien is brought down by Luongo, who's certainly not scared of getting a foot in the centre of midfield. Free kick to Wrexham. And asked Wrexham, Jarvis says Kakache is class, isn't he? Yeah, you can already just see the way he receives the ball, the soft feet, that little dribble when he was under pressure in his own area. There was never any sense of him taking a risk in doing that. Here's Cody now, driving along diagonal. It's a nice idea for Longman, and he'll get there as well. Only got Hardy in the middle. Moore arriving now. Longman goes to the far post, and Kakache should keep that in. Kakache now up against Leonard. O'Brien in support. Kakache looks to take him on, feeds it inside, just put a bit too much on that, and James couldn't get there. It wasn't the worst idea, but James was never seemed to be really making that run, did he?
Yeah, it's just a little bit too late going into that pocket, but at least they're looking for that. Something that we don't do is normally we get it out wide. The first thought is, can we cross it in the box? But that pass is so important sometimes to just change the dynamic of those defenders so that they have to defend properly.
Some good tracking then by Kakache as well. But as he intercepts, a free kick is conceded, and as he turns to complain to the ref, Hardy turns to apologise to the ref because it was him tripping the Millwall and not Kakache. So Millwall again, knocking it over the top, but hurried this time well by O'Brien. Luongo just launched it again, straight through to Gavin Ward. And asked Wrexham Sharon, saying, is this just going to be a defensive first half? I don't think it's all that's what we're looking to do, but Millwall are a good side, and when they put the pressure on, you have to dig in and make sure you can survive it, as Dobson makes a silly risk on the edge of his area, loses the ball. Important foot in by the skipper Matty James, and now here's O'Brien with a good ball to the right, and a 3-on-3 break here. James has got a chance to play in Moore, and he's played it in. Moore was he going to beat the keeper? He's too tight the angle. He's kept it in as the keeper retreats, feeds it behind O'Brien. It's back to Moore now, who hooks the ball back in. I think he's looking to do a Ryan Hardy. He should have pulled it back, because Dobson, who started that move by making a mistake, was in support. But, well, to be fair to the keeper Bender, he at least managed to come out and get a hand on that, and Moore had seemed to beat him to it.
Yeah, it's a chance, isn't it? So Cooper in the middle just misses the header completely. It's a lovely lofted ball over from Matty James, who just takes his time, he doesn't rush it. He sees keeper Moore and he gets that pass right, and then it's just doesn't quite fall for him, does it? He just can't quite judge that ball. Like you say, I think Bender does do well to get a hand to it, and then just pushes him out wide, puts him in a difficult angle.
Yeah, he did ever so well. He didn't look like he'd made it, though, I've got to be honest, but he just got that hand to it. It was absolutely crucial. Great ball over the top by James as well. He seemed to delay it, but got it right. Skidding it over Kramer's head. There he is, riding his luck a little bit to get beyond Kundal, but Wrexham still have it, and a building in midfield. O'Brien is taken out by Luongo off the ball and has stayed down holding his face. He's getting up now. Referee's just not interested. O'Brien is scanning around. I thought he was looking for Luongo, but he wasn't. He was looking for space as Dobson dinks it down the right channel. Good ball, Hardy. Ooh, I wondered if he was going to try and hook it inside over the keeper, but it's excellent defending by Kramer, who bravely gets his head and brings it clear. Poor touch though by Coburn, and Wrexham have it again and again. The game opens up. Moore wants it to feet. Fed to the feet of Hardy. Quickly out to Longman. Moore is available at the far post. Good underlap by Cleworth, but Sturge gets an important foot in. Dobson demands it, quickly thrown to him, and he squares it on. Good pace to this game. Matty James out again to Longman. Dobson 35 yards out, looking for Moon. An inviting gap inside Sturge. Nobody making a break into it though. Dobson in the end had the body language of somebody wanted somebody to run in there. Feeds it back and goes trotting back into position.
Yeah, there's just a small opportunity for Matty James to maybe just open up.
Tempting ball by Cody, and Hardy's unlucky, just couldn't quite reach it enough to bring under control. Yeah, it was sort of, Dobson looked like he really wanted to roll that ball in there, and nobody made the run for him. He went back, that shrug on his shoulders, but he always looks like he's got a shrug on his shoulders, doesn't he? So you can't really can't judge much from it. Goal kick taken by Stephen Bender. 24th minute, still 0-0, but this is a flick on by Ivanovic. Good work by Doyle. It's strong, the Millwall, the fans, and to an extent Coburn want a foul, but I think Doyle and Coburn just had the hold of each other. Doyle was too strong. Ball forwards. Moore now wrestling with Kramer, and that's good defending. Similar to what just happened at the other end. Ball worked up to Negley. He works it over to the right hand side, and Wrexham looking to put pressure on the ball in midfield, forcing it back into the Millwall half. So over to Sturge now. On the left-hand side, Dobson putting him under pressure. Cooper feeding it inside, and it has to go all the way back again to Bender. Wrexham have come back well from that spell of pressure. Had a couple of dangerous looking balls over the top. And are asking questions in Millwall's defence. As on the left-hand side, Sturge looks it back inside again. Cundle. Millwall just trying to probe in their own half, but again Wrexham with that mid-block looks solid. Good foot in by Kakache. Luongo recovers the ball, and Millwall are going to find a bit of space on the left-hand side as the song for Joey Jones rings out again. Longman tight on him, actually he turns him nicely and goes driving forwards. Good advantage, gets out of the area, round the outside to Cleworth. Good tackle by Cleworth, that's excellent work. Dobson now popping it backwards, Cleworth slices it forwards though, and Hardy will chase Cooper underneath it, heads it out of play, a bit carelessly perhaps. Longman a bit lucky not to have a word from the ref after that.
Yeah, it's just a couple of times Longman getting really tested in terms of his defensive abilities by Amaku on this right hand side, but Max Cleworth stands really well, just says right, you beat me then, just wins that ball back and just knocks it away from danger.
He's going really tight, is Longman, and so Amaku is just feeling him and then rolling him. If he just touches him in the back and just maybe half a yard, stays his distance a little bit less lightly to go past him.
It's similar to what Sturge did to Longman himself earlier on in the game. Just got so tight that Longman's just able to get that touch around him. Just got to make sure he's aware of Amaku, what he's trying to do.
Here's Leonard playing it down the flank. A nice little run by Negley into out. And now he's right by the corner flag, pulls it back to Leonard, and back again. Cundle, first time cross to the far post, and again their delivery's poor into the box. Ward takes it. Moore wants early delivery, but I like that throw by Ward. He's sent Cleworth away down the right. Good work though to hold him up by Marku, and Wrexham will be patient and comfortable at the back, and I think we can be happy with this. Like I said, Millwall are going very well. They've already won at Norwich and Sheffield United. As Moore is maybe a little lucky to get a free kick, although he's holding his right shin, looks uncomfortable. He stayed down. But yeah, we're certainly holding our own in this.
Well, when you've got a knock on an ankle and you're carrying one anyway, always it happens to be on that point on your foot when you get a kick.
Well, I was feeling like a new problem for Wrexham. Haven't had this for a while. We're nursing Moore through that ankle injury, and now we're going to have to trust the Welsh FA's medical team when he flies all the way to Kazakhstan. I mean, just to point out, I know that they're not playing in Almaty, but the capital of Kazakhstan is closer to Tokyo than London, so that's a fair distance to fly. And we're going to have to hope they nurse his ankle as well as we are. Cleworth under pressure from the short kick. Moore is up and ready. Cleworth lifts it looking for Moore, who's moving freely, backing into Kramer. Good defensive work again. And it's headed to Sturge. Luongo now on the edge of the box. Moore stops him from turning. Kramer on the edge of the area. Millwall builds once more as their fans continue to make excellent noise. There is a terrific atmosphere from both ends. As the ball's fed forwards, Cleworth reads it well and can run it out of play. The mark who wasn't aware of what was going on. Yarbtina says, who does Longman keep passing to? Is there an invisible player we signed recently? Well, that's all part of Parkinson's plan, isn't it? O'Brien breaks down the right, wins the throw on the halfway line. Yeah, when that challenge was on Moore, I quickly looked up to see a replay on the screen, because they've been showing replays which they're not supposed to. I know Wrexham were a bit annoyed that Cleworth got booked at Southampton, and I think and the replay was shown on the screen, and they felt the referee had a look up, which he's not supposed to do because it's not supposed to be played. So I know the club are a bit unhappy with that. Not that there's anything you can do about it. As the ball's fed forwards, Ivanovic can't bring her under control, and it rolls all the way through to Ward again. Ward is getting a getting his touch count up, if nothing else. Here's Cleworth now on the right-hand side, launching it long, too long though. Although Cooper has to backpedal and heads to midfield, and Dobson's attacking that well. Luongo had to get rid quickly. Longman wins a good header against Sturgeon. O'Brien, that's a good tackle and a good recovery by Cundle, who spins around him and is pulled back. Free kick. Rolling ball, it looked like, but then the referee was distracted as he looked at O'Brien. Doesn't give it. Doyle, good strength, nudges Ivanovic off the ball, and Kakacha with that recovery pace is able to get back and then set himself. Poor pass out though by him. And here come Millwall again down the right hand side. It's fed inside by Cundle. The return ball is a poor one by Coburn. Now then can O'Brien scurry forwards. Really good work to hold him up in midfield by Luongo, and Wrexham wanted a foul, not given, and he's driving down the right, chips it into the box. Well won again by Cody, who started this game very well. Well won back in the air by Luongo. Kakache complains he was fouled, but I don't think so. And Thomas Kirk has allowed quite a bit of physical stuff, so it's in keeping of how he's done this. Now he's in Maku, who knows he can beat Longman. Instead he plays a lovely ball inside. Sturge pulls it back. Coburn's shot is excellently blocked by Cody. Chance for Luongo, who completely makes a hash of it. And from the edge of the day, he slices it miles off target, but Cody's made some really good interventions in that goal mouth already, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been really good so far in this game, but again, just comes from a bit of sloppy play from Wrexham on that right-hand side. Referee lets it go. Like you said, I wasn't sure there was too much in it, and then they just look dangerous, don't they, Millwall? Again on this left-hand side, and Marku just looking really strong with Sturge overlap. Longman looking a little bit like he needs that little bit more help.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a measure of how Ryan Barnett develops. I kind of feel, in defensive terms, I feel a bit more comfortable with Barnett than Longman at right wing back. When he first came in, he was a real winger. Matty James does really well to win that, and Marcus hurts his shoulder. Dobson helps on nicely, took more fouled in midfield. Free kick. Now then, there's option out wide, which is rather cutely stopped by Neckley, who comes across and just stands on the ball, so the quick ball can't be played out. But it's over there now with O'Brien, 30 yards out. Finds Kakache, level the edge of the head, running as his man comes inside. It's a good tackle by Leonard. And Leonard now being pulled back by Kakache. Free kick given. How long before the ref books a Wrexham player for shirt pulling? Because that's three pretty blatant ones. Then O'Brien lifts the ball far too far down the line, and you could get in trouble, but the ref doesn't seem very keen to get involved in anything with players, does he?
No, and if you're going to get booked for something in this game, don't let it be for something silly, like kicking the ball away or whatever. But Lewis O'Brien's already had a few tussles, I think it's fair to say, in the middle of the park, hasn't he? Both going against him and for him.
Sturge and Imaku down this left-hand side, when they have got into that final third, they've looked electric, playing inside Longman, Cleworth. And I think Cody's just got to come over and just help a little bit more, because they're getting found out with little 1-2s, and they're getting into that little area near the byline too easily. Cody's done well in blocking the crosses, but it's only a matter of time the more times they get in there.
At the moment, Millwall on the right-hand side as Ackley and Leonard combine. Ball fed back into midfield. Cundle now. And Luongo. Millwall switch it across the pitch. Cooper decides not to go all the way to the left flank though. Wrexham have to shift again as Millwall probe. Ball towards Ivanovic, holding it up nicely. Good turn, but Doyle does really well to intercept. It's not the best ball to him by Dobson, and Doyle gives him a hospital ball back. Sturge managed to get there without getting contact by Dobson, but when it's intercepted by Cody, lovely ball round the corner by Moore. Dobson holding it up as Sturge wrestles with him on the halfway line. Good ball inside now. Matty James, head up, finds Moore, great vision, sweeps it across, and it's Doyle. Poor touch by Doyle, caught in possession. Danger here until Luongo trying to run at James, who stayed on his feet well, loses his balance, and Wrexham have it back in midfield. But again, there are passages like that where play just opens up, players get ahead of the ball, and the pitch looks very open. Here's another one. O'Brien has got the two runners making runs, strikers rather. He finds Hardy nicely right side of the box. Longman takes over, corner of the area, cuts inside Sturge, hits a shot, deflected behind for the corner. That shot looks decent. The header puts it behind by Cundle.
Yeah, we were talking about Sturge and Marku coming forward, but They've definitely looked a bit weak defensively on that side. Amaku a bit reluctant to actually get back at all. And Sturgis left, just really open. But Wrexham, again, looking bright when they do make that counter and get those passes right. Can we get something from the corner?
Massive big players round the penalty spot, creeping up to the 6-yard box now. O'Brien is on it, the short corner's on. Dobson lurks on the edge of the penalty area. He's going back central now. O'Brien delivers, keepers can't get to that. It's headed away well at the far post mines, and now then, chance of a breakaway. Wrexham again, left open. Again, the ref plays a good advantage. This time, shirt pulling by Matty James, and the ball is fed in, looking for a mark of good pace. That by Longman to cover and find Dobson as well, James rather, as they track back. Ward just loses balance as he clears it, doesn't get a great deal of distance on it, and it's nodded down nicely by Cundle. Luongo feeding it forwards, back to Cundle from Negley. It's a chance again to find Sturge. Dobson's coming across to try and stop him, and he sidesteps it. Whose throw is that? Goes Millwall's way. Parkson complains, but Dobson doesn't, and he was the player involved in the challenge. Imaku he banged his shoulder a couple of minutes ago, and he was flexing it a lot. He seems all right now. But yeah, he looks such a threat down that left-hand side of Sturge. It's now on the right, Leonard on the halfway, and O'Brien's not letting him past, and so it comes inside. Cundle can help it on again, goes central instead and gets it back from Coburn. Cundle receiving on the back foot, just works it back out and to the left. Imaku takes over, level edge of the area. Dobson's there helping. It's a teasing cross, but it's headed wide. And I think the ref is saying he'd have given a push in the back to Wrexham as Cody went flying. Seems to be pointing and saying take the goal kick, but I saw that, it wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, he gave him the quick thumbs up because it's Doyle that just has a look, arms aloft going, that's just a blatant push. Nice cross in, just feeds it into that far post, but there's a definite push. And he would have given the free kick.
Yeah, Ivanovic getting up, but Doyle was going to get rid of that if he hadn't been shoved. So still no score here at the Den. 37th minute. Ward hits it right-footed, down the left. Moore gets up as he's beaten in the air again by Kramer, who looks very impressive. Good foot in by Cody, and it's helped on well by James. Referee gives the free kick belatedly, but correctly in midfield. Wrexham looking pretty solid despite that threat down our right. As we move it around at the back again, Cody looking over the top. That's not accurate though, and the Kramer intercepts and feeds it forwards, and Wrexham needs to filter back, which O'Brien does very well. Wins the ball back from Knackley. Oh, Dobson too slow, caught in possession by Amaku, and he can't stop him dribbling past him. Hell of a tackle that by Matty James. It was 3 against 2, and James coming around the wrong side did brilliantly to get Dobson out of jail there. Great tackle by Amaku on Cleworth, who has hurt his ankle, I think. It was a good tackle, it wasn't a foul, but Cleworth stays down to the delight of the Millwall players, and he looks in some distress. But yeah, Dobson's error put us in a hole and may have cost us Cleworth if he's not able to get over this knock.
Yeah, it's the second time in this game, isn't it, where George Dobson, it looks like it's quite an easy one. He's in a position where you look like he can just go forward into that space, but instead he just tries to turn. And he's did it on the last one as well. He just goes into that danger area where there's just too many blue shirts, and he's just always going to get caught out. And then Matty James, really good recovery tackle, really does save Wrexham's skin a little bit there again. That's why he's in the team. But Max Cleworth, he's up, he's walking. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Yeah, he's limping quite heavily. Wrexham have all come across and are taking liquid on, which the Millwall fans don't like, because Millwall are ready to resume. O'Brien is getting some instructions from Parkin and Parkinson. Cleworth, was he treated then or not? No. I didn't think he was, but he's taking the throw in, sorry. He seems to be looking around and shrugging. Now the referee is intervening here. And is he going to say Cleworth has to stay off the pitch? Is he saying, I don't know. Is he trying to say give the ball back to Millwall? I'm not quite sure what that was about. Anyway, Cleworth steals a few yards and takes the throw looking for Moore, who's wrestled over the place then by Cooper. James manages to knock the ball into his own face and nearly find Longman. Golden touch. I know Mark even deep in his own half, penned in. It's a lovely switch, and now Leonard's got acres of space down the right running at Kakache. He decides not to engage with him, pulls it back into midfield. Wrexham get their shape back. Leonard maybe could have driven Kakache back a bit more there as he gets the ball back from Knackley. Feeds a poor ball forwards. Easy interception by Doyle, who nods it to O'Brien, and Doyle wins a throw-in.
Yeah, just when we get possession back, just zip a couple of passes, a little bit of intent about them. It seems like we're wanting a touch, take our time, and then we're being closed down, and then the pass is under pressure. If we can just move it a couple of times, the player will have a little bit more space to then deal with the ball.
Wrexham throw down the line by Doyle. Well, one in the air, and O'Brien's done brilliantly to get there. Can't quite carry it through, and he does follow through and catches Cooper, who goes down. Doesn't make a drama of it, to be fair. O'Brien could easily been booked for shirt pulling. That's got a couple more Wrexham players, so he gets a word from the ref, but no more. Now here is Cooper, deep in his own half. Kramer feeding it up to the halfway line, right hand side, and the ball is rolled inside, popped straight back by Knackley. Wrexham again have got that mid-block shape. Ball spread to Sturge. Longman steps up to the halfway line to cover him, and Millwall recirculate it over to the right hand side. Purposeful touch by Kramer, who goes accelerating beyond Hardy and plays a good ball down the right channel, chased and stopped in the end by Doyle, and it's a double ricochet goal kick given. Shall we describe what's going on the far end as animation amongst the Millwall fans? They're not happy with that. But double deflection, and it's a goal kick rather than a corner.
Well, I think the referee's given that before the linesman, and he was right up with play, and he was right because the ricochet did go off the Millwall player. It's really interesting to see how Wrexham are dealing with this, the two out on this left-hand side. When Sturge gets it, Longman's the one that goes and presses, and Cleworth's got a long way to go to get out to Amaku, and then Cody has to come across and fill in when Coburn comes into that pocket. You've got to do it quickly though. As the ball's travelling, you've got to move quickly, and it's hard work. It's hard work defending those spaces, but if they can do that, they can stop it at source, and then they don't leave any gaps or any passing lanes.
Long diagonal by Millwall, but not accurate. Cleworth heads it clear, and he's managed to find Longman with that as well. Back to Dobson, first time ball forwards, looking for more, but it's easily intercepted by Cooper. Nice ball inside, and it's extremely busy. Luongo switches it, and again Leonard comes forwards. Again he delivers early, and it's easy for Cleworth to get rid of. Luongo again feeding it back to Cooper to give Millwall a bit more time on the ball. Luongo wants it back instead. Poor ball, and Moore gets a foot in. Dobson wins a free kick despite the astonished reaction of Luongo. Yeah, Dobson tried a little trick and fooled Luongo, who caught him. Free kick. Right, James stands over it in midfield. Ref just has a word with Luongo. And then it's taken by Cody, who lifts it over the top. Hardy is not impressed. It was massively overhit. Hardy didn't read it either. And
he did, but Cooper just blocked him.
Yeah.
Just stood in his way, put his arm around his neck. You're not going over there, mate. And it makes Cody look a fool.
Hardy didn't help by giving Cody the skunk eye as well, did he? Let's be honest. Millwall building through the middle once more. Again, Kundle looks busy in this slightly deeper position, and certainly I've seen him play. Marco again running at Longman. Cuts inside, sweeps the ball to the far post. That's dangerous. Headed back into the goalmouth. Cleworth is there. And half volleys it clear. It'll be a throw to Millwall, about 15 yards into the Wrexham half, right hand side. 2 minutes left. And although there have been gaps to exploit for Millwall, I think Wrexham will be happy to get in with a clean sheet at half time at least. The ball driven forwards well, nines by Millwall down the right. Kramer just overruns it and catches Kakache. Free kick on the corner of the box to Wrexham. Chance for Ward to slow things down a little bit. Get us a bit closer to that break. Yeah, so Ward More definitely on their way to Kazakhstan. You would assume Broadhead not, as he's out injured today. Kakache, apparently, it's a little unclear. But if he plays today, I don't think that we'll be able to argue he's not fit. Moore gets up and wins a throw-in deep in Millwall's half, left-hand side about 25 yards out. It'll be Kakache to take. Nobody really showing for it yet. O'Brien does. He's looking for a bit of space, receives and pops it back to Kakache, and the two of them combine nicely. Kakache has to wait for a return ball, but he sweeps a good ball in, and Moore flicks it across, face of goal, beg your pardon, Hardy. And Moore just couldn't quite get her at the far post. Dangerous little moment. If Moore was attacking her, he might be able to get a bit more on that, actually.
Well, really well worked by O'Brien and Kakache. You only need one out. If your movement's good enough and your touch is good enough, you can play those little 1-2s and puts Kakache down the line. And Ryan Hardy going across that near post where we've seen him score in pre-season. And he does get something on it, but just too much to roll it into Moore's path, who was coming round the back post.
So another free kick to Wrexham. O'Brien caught and stays down.
It's bitty, isn't it? There's a lot of free kicks, little free kicks being given. Both teams haven't really got any flow to the game yet.
And yes, I'm quite happy with that, in that us being open and conceding lots of chances felt more dangerous. And there is some poetry in it, because on Ask Wrexham, Lloyd Dabler said Parkinson was calling for Max to come back into the bench, like he was calling him home as if the sun had just set and he's still out riding his bike. I like that. O'Brien stands up the free kick, too much on that, and that's a disappointment, as we've had the added minute now. I mean, there was barely any football played in it, but referees always seem keen to get in at half time, so probably will stop play the moment the ball comes back in from this throw-in, which Sturge will take. Not sure Moore was ready then when O'Brien put it in. His back looked to be turned to the ball, and there you go, Sturge throws it in, and a half-time whistle goes, and I think Wrexham can be pretty satisfied of that, not least because Millwall have been playing some really nice football so far this season, but they haven't really got it going that much against us.
No, the couple of times that they have got in, we've managed to get a foot on those crosses that we haven't been able to so far this season. The one at West Brom, and then a couple at Sheffield Wednesday, the ones that pullbacks. They've not picked out their man, and Cody's defending those spaces quite well today. But those are the real only opportunities that Millwall have had. We've had a couple of half chances as well, so probably 0-0 is probably fair, and balance of play is probably fairly even as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things we probably wanted to see a bit more of was Kiefer Moore and Ryan Hardy. That link up, we haven't quite seen it click just yet. And listen, it's still super early. I said, pre-match that obviously this is the first time we're actually seeing that partnership in the league together. But just in moments when that ball has gone over to Kiefer, I just think Ryan Hardy's position, he's just got to make sure he's just reading it, and can he just judge where that ball's going to come from? Because at the moment he's just a bit far away, just isn't quite near it, and it's just them bringing the pressure straight back on us, and that gap, just need to watch that gap, because sometimes that midfield has dropped or come forward a little bit too much. Our defence can be a little bit deep, and that's where we'll get caught, because Millwall have got quality, have got pace, so we just need to be careful in those areas. Yeah,
and it's also when our midfielders all come to the ball to get the ball in that midfield, we're way away from the strikers when played in, so Moore's not got what you'd like is when you're backing in and wrestling, you just want to be able to just soft set somebody that's coming onto the ball, and they're so far away, he's got to then bring it down, get it under control, still holding this guy off, and then play it back, and it just becomes a little bit tougher for Kiefer or Hardy to do that. But that only comes from maybe two going towards the ball and then one just staying away to go and get those second balls off Kiefer.
Yeah, there was that header, wasn't there, halfway through the half when Moore is trying to head it square. But Hardy's a long way away from him. He can't see where he is. He's just got to put it where he hopes he is. And also he's got to put it on so much... Well, he's headed it essentially 20 yards in the hope he's going to pop up somewhere. That chemistry's not quite there, I think, is it, in a way that...
Well, not yet. They haven't played together, so it will just take time to come, those sorts of things. But the stuff you can do off the pitch as well. It's a bit crackly in my ears, that. Sorry about that. I've got a dodgy connection.
Attitude.
Yeah, you can talk to... yeah. What you can do is you can talk to each other off the pitch. So if there is a long ball coming up, me and Jake Edwards, for example, when we were really young and coming together through the reserves, we used to speak to each other and say, if the ball's coming to us, then we're going to flick it. If we're going to flick it, we're going to aim towards goal wherever we are. So if I'm flicking it from this side of the pitch, I'm going to aim towards goal. So he's got a rough idea that if he's knowing already before I've done it what I'm going to hopefully do if I get a good connection on the ball. And those types of things you can talk to each other off the pitch. You don't necessarily need to do it on the grass to get those relationships.
There's plenty of percentages there, isn't it, really? If you know that's your intention whenever that's on, you know you can gamble on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you've got more chance. It gives a higher percentage in your favour, if you like.
I always remember as well, it does interest me, that sort of chemistry. I always remember Ian Edwards playing for Wrexham when I was a kid. A big target man, played for Wales, played for Crystal Palace. And my dad loved him. And the Wrexham fans were on his back all the time. And it was like, my dad's argument was, he wins so many headers. People don't gamble off him. Can you really blame him for that? You know what I mean? He was dominant in the air. And he'd be moaning he hasn't found whoever. And I said, well, somebody run off him then. He'd boss centre-backs really well. And that chemistry and gelling, I don't know. It's Dobson. It really fascinates me this season. He in so many ways he's been terrific, but there are just those little moments like when he gets caught out here, almost like he's thinking to himself, I need to speed the game up because this is a higher level. And when he is snappy, he looks great, but then just occasionally he forgets and dwells a bit, and he gets caught on that ball, and you wonder if he is just trying a bit too hard to hurry things along because he feels that snappiness is what he needs in his game.
Yeah, and he has got that in his locker. I think we've seen it before where he's done that little chop and just seems to escape sort of three opposite men, and suddenly he finds himself in a world of space. And sometimes that's what we do miss in that midfield. In terms of that midfield three, is sometimes just that little bit of pace, that injection, of just a sudden change of speed, and just that positivity in terms of going forward. Sorry, just ordering
our waitress service again. Yep, that's the word.
More important than that first half, obviously. But just looking at the stats now, neither team with a shot actually on target, so that sort of shows the lack of real sort of clear-cut chances in that first half, which from a Wrexham point of view, obviously defensively the last few weeks, that's something we've been quite worried about in terms of giving away chances and giving away sort of those expected goals, that XG. So that's really positive, but then we need to obviously offer a bit more going forward ourselves.
Yeah, I think with Dobson, he's got a really good opportunity to learn, and it's a steep learning curve for him because it is a level that he's not played at, but he certainly showed to me in the first 5 games, I suppose, that he is desperate to stay in this team and desperate to make the step up and make it work, and there's no reason why he can't. What I like about him is that the intent he goes about closing down, he looks like he's sprinting when he's going closing down, and he's going to put them under pressure. And then when he does get the ball, yes, he's had a couple of minor ones today where he's given the ball away, he's turned the wrong way. But usually he's really good with the ball, and that he will play better when he plays less touches. If he has just 2 touch and moves the ball at this level, you can look amazing. And he's got the ability to do that. And I think he's been one of the brighter sparks of this season so far, and he was probably not in my starting 11 had everybody been fit at the start of the season.
Well, absolutely. I wonder, because I think a lot of people seem to forget that the start of last season he was absolutely outstanding in the centre of the three, and then he adapted, I thought, well to playing on the right. It's a very, very different role of the way that we set ourselves up. And seeing him go back to that role on Tuesday, and he was terrific off the bench. He ran that game, I thought. Just makes me think, I wonder whether,
Could you do it again? Would he dare? Would Phil Parkinson do that?
Well, I think the problem in doing that is Matty James is such a great player. I'm not advocating it, but I'm just thinking in terms of, like I said, we know he's got a good range of passing and a good awareness, Dobson. Does it help him being in the middle where he's got a 180-degree view rather than playing on the right and knowing, well, I can't turn out really, or if I do, I'm going to have to pass it on. So he's only got one direction to try and feed snappy passes towards.
Well, I think Phil Parkinson really likes James in there for his calmness, if you like, of when everything's going frantic. He's the one that does make a couple of passes that keeps the ball for us. It would be just his legs, and Saturday, can he do that? But you have got that option of of dropping Dobson in there, and he does have that energy where he can make those runs and get into those channels and stop those attacks, but he probably doesn't give you quite as much on the ball in those instances where calm is needed.
Oh, I love Matty James. I'm not advocating replacing him, just that whether it would help Dobson in terms of having those options. Rathbone's warming blanket on Ask Wrexham said about the Matty James tackle, that brilliant tackle on Amaku, that may have been the best thing Matty James has ever done. Well, we'd have to ask his wife to know for sure, but nonetheless, it was outstanding. And it was, again, that level of quality. I mean, that was... If you don't get that right, you're in a lot of trouble with the referee, and you've got to stop him somehow, but to win it that cleanly was something else.
Well, not just that, the pass was on to slide the ball through to Coburn, I think it was, who was making the run down the side, and it was a chance on goal, so stopped a certain opportunity, and he got Dobson out of a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's did you ever play here at Millwall?
I did, but I don't have very many good memories, as in I don't remember like doing very well here, so I definitely had a thumping, I think, and we've had a couple of draws. Coventry and Blackpool, I think, were the two that I'd have played here, but it's not a pleasant experience.
I can
as a footballer
wondering that,
coming here, it's not one of the favourite away days, I have to say.
Well, I remember the first time I came here. Yeah, it has a certain reputation, Millwall, I think it's fair to say. I mean, the club did inadvertently play its role in the East End gang wars, because the Crays were West Ham fans and their big enemies, the Williamsons, were Millwall fans, and apparently that did play into the whole thing. But, yeah, it has a certain reputation. I remember the first time I came here, the programme, where they have all the sort of player sponsor pages, and it always says things like, Max Cleworth, his shirt is sponsored by the Rostochlin Reds, and the shorts are sponsored by the Patagonia Reds, and all the Millwall programme had old messages like so-and-so's shorts are sponsored by Towie, taken away too soon, and you sort of think, whoa, hello, Gary the Greek, and you sort of think, okay, fair enough. There was a Millwall fanzine outside. They'd signed Paul Wilkinson, a big experienced centre forward, played for Everton, backup basically for Graham Sharp when they won the league. And he'd come here, and clearly the Millwall fans hated him. And the fanzine was him, a photo of him with a young Millwall striker, and the speech bubbles. Wilkinson had his arm around like a training, saying, "I'll teach you everything I know, son." And the young striker saying, "That won't take long." And he was a sub. They weren't doing well. He came to warm up. The abuse he got from the Millwall fans was something else. One of the Millwall players got injured, so he came on after about half an hour. He was booed onto the pitch like only Millwall fans could boo you on. He went. I was telling Wayne Phillips this. He tripped Wayne Phillips up just on the halfway line right in front of us where we are here. Free kick, nothing more than that, just a free kick. Blokes in front of me jumping up and screaming, "Send him off, ref! Send him off!" He was their own player. And he only stayed on for about 20 minutes and he got subbed. And he wasn't visibly injured. I think it was just, this isn't nice, I want to go home. Wow.
I'm a footballer, get me out of here.
Exactly, yeah. And we won, Neil Wainwright scored. But then the opposite was the next year we came here. And this is why I do enjoy coming here a lot. The proper sort of visceral working class feel of passion for the game, which can overspill, unquestionably. But they played poorly in the first half against us, and we were the better side comfortably. And they were getting on the Millwall team's backs. But the second half, it was like the whole stadium decided, we're going to get behind you, give them a chance. The noise was ridiculous, and they were kicking towards, well, the end they're going to be kicking in the second half now. And it was just, I've never had a stronger impression of the crowd forcing a team forwards. It was all really sort of aggressive, direct, Brexit football. It was all long ball, bang, bang, crashing into people. And in the end, they scored when the winger just hurtled down the flank and just smashed across in the sort of cross that's always too overhead. And Paul Moody, big target man, launched himself horizontally at it and headed it in with the top of his head. It was just all about aggression and power and nothing to do with skill, but it was all about that raw emotion, and they won it with that goal. And you think, wow, support like that, it just really, it really felt like they'd won the match there. It's a different place here to watch football, but I'm sure to play it. But it's authentic.
I've pulled rank as well, by the way. Only half a cup of tea left in the pot downstairs. So
a likely story.
I'm having it.
A likely story. Our lackeys.
Just not good enough, are they?
They're not, are they? No. I'm desperately trying to say this loudly so he can hear me. Hey, lackey. Shameful that is. It's
actually nice.
Oh, is it? Oh, good. I'm thrilled to hear that. Yeah, but selective deafness down there amongst the slaves. But we'll sort them out later, don't you worry.
I'm amazed Andy's been given one after spilling what can only be described as about
a
15 litres of coffee over everyone's laptops.
Computers, laptops, yeah. The guy in front, yeah. That was a mistake. It was the handle of my bag. I lifted my bag out of the way, but not the handle. And it took the whole job lot. I did clear it up though, and it's as clean as it's ever been up here.
There you go.
For the three boys.
Well, I've got to say, I mean, they've looked after us very well here as well, because we're now in the level where you'll get hot food and very nice lasagna, garlic wedges and garlic bread, and I was sort of thinking, I don't want to have too much, but then when I saw it, it was like, yeah, go on then, I'll have a bit of everything.
Yeah, and that's after a breakfast as well at the hotel. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell me PT.
I got PTSD after not getting a cup of tea off them, I tell you. So the teams are back out, and Jarvis, I don't agree, says, so many of these games will be a dreary midfield drudge fest. We're not in the fun-packed lower tiers now. I'm not so sure. I just think this is a game where you have to stand up to be counted against a Millwall team who can pass the ball around, obviously, but can mix it up and be direct when they want to. And you just have to make sure you don't give any quarters and you fight for everything here, and then you earn the right to get a goal.
Yeah, and I think both managers would have probably been saying a similar thing in their changing rooms, which is keep going, keep doing the same things. Maybe we just need that little bit of quality in those final third areas to make everything, that chance, that opportunity that we do get count.
Absolutely. So Wrexham defending the kick-off as it's knocked long. Doyle heads the ball firmly clear. Dobson can't get to it against Luongo, but it's dropped to the edge of the box. Cody gets rid of it that time, and it's headed out to play for a throw to Wrexham. I Knit a Man, that's a great name. And Ars Wrexham says, the more I watch, the more I like Matty James. The lad can play. His quality, isn't it? As Luongo handles it. Goes out for a throw anyway. Ref just gives that. And it'll be Doyle to deliver. Can't find it. Somebody was asking when Rathbone will be back. I'll have a look at that. There's no clear answer to that, I'm afraid. Millwall have a chance to break down the right. Ivanovic has space to measure across, puts it in. Good solid defending. That Cleworth covering and heading it away as it was attacked by Coburn, but Cundle keeps the ball alive, feeding it back to Sturge, and that allows him to turn and face goal, get it back, works it down the left. Sturge, this time Maku's inside him. Sturge level the edge of the box, works it backwards. Cundle once more. Wrexham though in a deep block of force Millwall back to the halfway line. Thus far no repetition of the problems we had against Sheffield Wednesday in the second half, where we got boxed in. Here's Cundle though, able to carry to the edge of the box, feeds it into the feet of Maku, wants it in a crowded area and does well to prod it back to Cundle. It's very crowded on the edge of that box, it's helped on again. A little bit of space for Leonard now. Dinks in across, it's a chance and it's horribly missed, hit on the edge of the 6-yard box. Real chance for Coburn, he messed it up badly. Still the ball's in the box and Sturge on the back of the defence. Great defending and a great parry as well by Ward to push it behind. Dobson got the block, but it was still whistling towards goal. Ward saved it as near post, but we were lucky twice there.
Yeah, good pressure by Millwall. First one that comes in, it's the first time Cody really gets beaten in terms of that middle of the area. Coburn, like you say, just doesn't connect with it at all how he means to. And then when it almost tries to get brought in back again by Millwall, it's Dobson who gets out really well, gets the block in, then Ward's alive to it.
Corner then, an in-swinger from the left-hand side, and Maku will take it. Sweeps it into the crowded goalmouth. Good header, clear that. Matty James getting there first. Longman now only has Hardy ahead of him. He winds himself up and knocks it long, and Hardy's doing well to fight. Now then, he wants a foul. Ref's not going to give that, I think, because it's the last defender as anything else. Again, Sturge though, when he gets tight, you get a turn in on him, and his first reaction is to grab hold and hope. And he was taking a risk there, I thought.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Hardy could try and just stay on his feet as much as possible, because it was literally a one-on-one. Keeping Moore's busting a gut to try and get up there with him, but I think he's just trying to play for that foul, isn't he? And Sturge definitely takes the risk when he holds on to him.
Yeah, I would be livid if the ref gave a red card to Wrexham playing those circumstances, but having said that, it's a gamble when you grab a guy like that. As this fed over the top, looking for Hardy and a mishead, and Nailey put him clear on goal. Cooper misheaded, but Cramer's been superb, the right-sided centre-back, and he covered brilliantly. Otherwise Hardy would have been on his own running through the middle. And Millwall look open again all of a sudden.
Well, it looked like Cooper had it all under control, and the ball just kept rising and drifting. Just managed to get a flick, and Hardy took it away from Hardy's toe. Like you said, Kramer just is able to cover round and clear his lines.
More an incident really in the penalty areas and near the penalty areas than there has been in the first half, as Cody feeds her out to the right hand side, and Longman with a rather ineffectual touch. He complains Hardy hadn't anticipated that. I'm not sure Longman anticipated it till after it happened. Long ball forwards, Ivanovic holds it up well and works it down the left flank, where Imaku can use his pace to get there ahead of Cleworth by the corner flag, now running at Cleworth, who is trying to show him outside, and he does well in the end. Imaku got too much of a touch on it. Goal kick to the fury of Imaku and the Millwall fans. But this is a really lively start to the half by both teams. Millwall looking threatening, Wrexham counter-punching really well. That chance for Coburn as well, getting ahead of his man at the near post, and 6 yards out was a horrible mishit by him. It sort of seemed to hit his sort of trailing thigh as much as anything, because Wrexham looked to lock it early for Hardy. Not accurate and cleared. Throw to Wrexham on the right hand side, 20 yards out. Cleworth to take. So throw-in will be taken eventually by Cleworth, who's told he's stealing a few yards and has to retreat. Cleworth again then throws it to the halfway line, volleyed away without challenge by Cooper. And Cleworth gets a foot in, it spins to the edge of the area. Ivanovic backing in, but Doyle stood really firm there and got it clear. Good defending. Ball's played down the line, and Kakache does well to get touched tight on Nackley. Throw-in goes Millwall's way, over the edge of the box, right hand side.
Yeah, I thought Doyle was just stronger, just matches his man. Wasn't sure if there was maybe a little tug, but does well in the end. And then Kakache equally so as well on his left hand side. Just make sure eyes on the ball, doesn't fall for the dummy.
So another long throw by Lenners. This one again has good distance, edge of the 6 yard box. Cleworth again gets it well to head it partly away. Cross comes back in and is headed behind for the corner. It was good work again by Kramer. Put the ball into the far post. Luckily for Wrexham, no one attacking it. Dobson had no choice though. He didn't know what was around him, heads it behind, and the pressure continues from Millwall. In swinger again from Imaku. Millwall fans making good noise. Imaku sweeps it in dangerously. Moore gets up, terrific header. Hardy fighting for it. It drops wide again for Imaku, who's got a chance to run at Doyle, who stepped out from the middle. Goes round the outside of him. Doyle stays on his feet. Imaku gets a shot off, but puts it into the top tier. That's really good from initially Doyle and then Dobson, who came to close down as well. And Imaku just didn't have any real chance to get that off properly.
Yeah, both defenders showing a lot of intent to put their bodies on the line and get in the way of it and not let him get an easy shot on goal. It's Doyle to start with, and then Dobson comes in and backs him up. And Imaku just puts it the same place as he put the first one in the first half, which was way high and wide.
Wards with the goal kick then. I was interested on Ars Wrexham. Comments saying both the Sky and Paramount Plus commentators saying it's sort of dull. And I'm thinking, hang on a second, let's see what's happening here. Good ball by Knackley and a great ball. Coburn with a chance, left channel, drills it off target. Ward was either wrong-footed by it or confident it was going wide. I'm not quite sure which till I see the replay, but it was another chance, and Wrexham just starting to get opened up a little bit.
Well, confident it's going wide, but it's a mistake from Cody. Cody looks to chest it down and drop it into Matty James, but Matty James doesn't read it, and they're out. They break. Great forward pass to Amaku. He slides it down to Coburn. Thankfully, it's on his weaker foot, and he just slices it wide. I think Ward, yes, had it covered.
Yeah, an escape there, but not a great finish really by Coburn when you see the replay, as Cooper gets up well again to head the ball clear, and this time it will be a foul to Millwall as Cody, well, is penalised for pulling back Coburn in midfield. He's furious, saying that he was equally having his shirt pulled. It's a free kick in midfield anyway.
Well, that's normally a yellow card in my book, and this referee is just quite happy just to play. Quite like it, actually.
Yeah. It's a chance for them to put it in. Leonard then standing on it. Wrexham holding a line just outside the box. Sherry, the Wrexham fan, saying first half not bad. I feel the whole squad's gradually improving. Yeah, certainly it's got a different feel, but you need to be able to dig in these sorts of tough away games. Free kick played in and headed by Cooper into the goal mouth. Coburn helps it on, and an overhead kick goes over, but it was a nice idea by Ivanovic. Back again about 8 yards out, and they are starting to create half chances, aren't they?
Yeah, you can feel it, the atmosphere in the stadium building again. Just another really good set piece, and they just make first and second contact, and then that third, the effort from Ivanovic. Just so difficult as a defender when an attacker goes for something like that. Reluctant to put your head in there, it's a bit of a risk. Not really expecting him to bicycle kick it from that sort of close in, but luckily he sails over the bar.
Well, we've just got 10 of us in a line as well on the edge of the box, all of us waiting there. Not one of us goes and engages.
Ball forwards, and that's a nice turn by Coburn down the right hand side. Cody driving on with him, cross to the far post, too much on that. Throw to Wrexham. The fans to our right all leapt in the air. They thought he got it right, but Ivanovic had no chance of getting near that.
Yeah, but Coburn's winning that battle, isn't he? So far this second half he's come out, and Connor Cody looks like he's under some real pressure. Just they're really targeting that space in behind him.
It's the first ball we've gone out of off Danny Ward's floor. He's kicked it forwards, and we've just not got anywhere near winning one header to keep the ball going and keeping one of our attacks going. It's always coming back to us, which puts your defence under pressure.
Moore is having a go at the referee. There's a throwing down a line there, which he felt he was held down for, and I think he's feeling that's happening a lot, and the ref's not doing anything about it, which would certainly play into us not being able to make the ball stick up front. As the ball is knocked long, and despite being buffeted again, good strong defending by Cleworth to head it clear, but Millwall are getting to the second balls. Wrexham aren't retreating deep like last week, but Millwall have a lot of the ball in this second half as Kundal again busy, works it wide again. We've got that dangerous overlap, and Sturge is stopped by a great stretch by Longman. Challenge on the edge of the area. Cleworth just about finds O'Brien. Look like handballs. Wrexham get the free kick 30 yards out from their own goal. That's a chance to maybe just calm down a little bit, get a bit of possession. Free kick instead taken quite quickly. Matty James squares it on, and now here is Kakache on the halfway line. Moore is ahead of him. Brings it backwards though, and Wrexham will start again from the back, which I think is no bad idea. Cody feeding it inside. Wrexham still in their own half. Dobson finds James. Nice idea towards O'Brien. Who gets a lucky ricochet off Leonard and breaks down the left. He has support. Leonard did a brilliant covering tackle. Throw to Wrexham. Level edge area, left hand side. O'Brien thought was going to get away there. Throw and taken quickly. O'Brien, good return ball under pressure to Kakache. Goes driving into the edge of the area. Crosses, and it's headed away. The keeper was coming for that, but it was headed clear. Dobson intercepts, can't keep the ball. Good strength and intelligent use of the body by James, who's then taken down off the ball. Ref plays on, good cross. Moore goes up at the keeper and scores! Kiefer Moore scores for the third game in a row. That is classic. Big man, got centre forward player. Didn't think he was going to get there, but he arrived at the same time as the keeper, and Bender has gone down, I think, hoping to get a free kick, but once more The referee says that's fine, and Wrexham have the lead.
Well, it's a brilliant header. His run is exceptional, but Max Cleworth take a bow because he gets the ball out his feet, could quite easily go out to Longman, but he just feeds one into that far post. And Kiefer Moore pulling off his man with the keeper coming, doesn't take his eyes off the ball, keeps his eyes on the ball, and all he has to do is redirect it. He doesn't have to get any power on it, and it just sneaks in by that post into the goal for 1-0.
And the bad news is Moore is hurt now and is needing treatment. I mean, there's a part of me says if this just means he doesn't go to Kazakhstan and he's fit for the fortnight, I'm happy with it. But the Wrexham fans are loving that brilliant piece of aggressive forward play. What a ball in by Cleworth. Bender's going to cross argue with the ref now. A bit late now, mate, to be honest.
Well, it's one of those where you have seen the ref sometimes favour the goalkeeper in that scenario. So I think everyone sort of held their breath, just had a quick look, made sure he didn't give it, and then wheeled away in celebration. But like Andy says, Kiefer Moore, he's just got all eyes on the ball. There's no intent to harm the goalkeeper. He's just got to get that touch, and he does that. But just going back to earlier in the move, we called it out straight away. Matty James does absolutely brilliantly just to keep hold of it and keep that momentum alive from the Wrexham attack. And then, like you say, it's Max Cleworth who just gets his head up and just puts it in that danger area, forces Bender to make that decision to come out, and then Kiefer Moore does the rest.
Well, it's the first time Moore's got a bit of space and away from him. As we've recycled the ball, he's able to just peel out around that back post, and he hasn't got anybody in his way or marking him, so he can go and get a free run over the top of Kramer, and he does so well to redirect the header.
And the reason it's not a foul, I'd argue, not having seen the replay, is that Moore is actually, I think it's his nose that's getting treated, so that rather implies he's got to the ball and got punched in the face for his troubles. He's still getting treated, which the Millwall fans aren't liking, but head injury, you're not going to rush treating it. But wow, Moore now, 4 goals in 3 games, not bad.
It's a great header as well. It just sneaks in past that post. Kramer again, just
has a
trying
couple
to
of
reach
words
to
as well
get it.
as he runs by him as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then his nose falls off, like Josh Homme in Toast of London. There's an obscure reference for you. There's an angle from behind that shows perfectly why it's not a foul. And it was helped by buffering as well, to be honest, because it buffered and paused it at exactly the right point to see the keeper not getting there as Moore heads it. There's nothing wrong with that goal. It's just fabulous monstering. Who runs, punches the air, and then obviously feels blood coming out of his nose and thinks, well, I better stop here. So he's now off the pitch and getting treatment. He's just changed his shorts, because obviously it's a blood injury, and Wrexham will have to be with 10 men for the moment, changing his shirt as well. Ball's worked out wise, and good pressure in Misa by Kakache. Wrexham desperately need now to protect this lead as the ball's switched over to the left hand side. It's Coburn back to goal, Cleworth forcing him away from danger area though, and on a halfway then Luongo takes chance to turn, work it over to the right hand side. Kramer comes forwards, little dink inside, a poor one by Leonard and smashed clear by Doyle. No Moore's up there. Hardy is chasing. Moore wants to come back on, he's just wiping his face with a tissue, and Millwall have it at the back. Moore comes back on to a cheer from the Wrexham fans, who are loving this now, as you can imagine. It's Cundle in midfield, sidesteps Hardy nicely and feeds it on. Luongo taking on the back foot as the turn and switches it over to the right. Leonard now 25 yards out, drills it in. Kakache gets the block, throw in to Millwall 25 yards out. Brilliant noise from that away, and now there's another long throw from Leonard is going to come in. Wrexham have left Hardy up front. Everyone else in defending. Moore picking up the area in front of the near post. He won't get to that, goes beyond him. Good header clear again by us. Cleworth again. It's been a lot of headers. Ball over to the right hand side. Leonard tries to play it down the line. Kakache did well, closed down his space. Foot in, throw into Millwall again.
He's done that well a couple of times, Kakache. He just reads it where they're going to play it, sticks a toe out and blocked it for a throw in.
Referee is telling Leonard He can't take the throw because there's a ball on the pitch. Because linesman
Why
won't
can't
go
the
on
linesman just go 2 yards and just kick it off?
I've never understood that.
Oh, come on.
He gets a mouthful from from Cooper.
From everyone.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cooper had to run 30 yards to kick it past the linesman who was standing right next to it. Long throw comes in, headed away well again by Cleworth. And good pressure by Longman on the ball, forces it all the way back to the keeper. Good work. I went to watch the women's team play a friendly against Shrewsbury, and it was quite good fun. I was with the Wrexham Ultras, who go to all the women's games. They're brilliant. And we did a bit of mental disintegration on a linesman in front of him by basically trying to tell him how great he was all the time so he'd give us decisions. And he was quite enjoying it. And he kicked the ball. That was our free kick given against Doyle. Ivanovic got goal side of him. He pulled him down just outside the box. Millwall fans want a red card. Well, it wasn't. I don't think he was the last offender, although Ivanovic was getting into a good position and Doyle gets a yellow. It's got too tight to him again. I thought, and Ivanovic turning him would have been in a great position. And this free kick's a great position.
Yeah, it's really good attacking play by Ivanovic. Just almost goes right in front of him, then spins, and it's really, really quick. And Doyle has to make a decision, and that's cost Wrexham a free kick.
It's a good angle from the other end, showing that Ivanovic had spun him quite early on, and Doyle was always grabbing hold of him. It wasn't, as Doyle argued, a case of Ivanovic grabbing him and pulling him down. Just great movement by the striker. So real danger for Wrexham now. Free kick right of centre, but just out, not a yard, if that, outside the box. And Wrexham have a 5-man wall with O'Brien as a runner. There's very little Ward can see. He's got a little window between O'Brien and the wall on the keeper's side, but he can't stay there. He's too far across, so he's now adjusted. Nackley stands over it. And it's Ivanovic who tries to drill it underneath, and the ball didn't jump, and it's blocked comfortably. Nackley floats a dangerous one in. Coburn with a drifting header, but it's going wide. Ward allows it to go wide, and he'd only the draft excluder if he don't jump in the air. I suppose that's the moral of that one.
Yeah, it must be something he spotted maybe last few weeks. But Wrexham always jump. We obviously conceded one against Southampton. Brilliant Ryan Manning, free kick. Just hoping it wasn't the same fate then, but luckily not.
Long ball out from the goal kick is easy for Sturridge to bring down. Wrexham with 25 minutes to hold out here, 1-0 up. Millwall started the better in this half as Cody gets across well to intercept, concede a throw-in.
Yeah, there's so much time left in this game. We've got to make sure we still get on the ball and keep hold of it. Don't just allow Millwall to get at us and attack us and force us really deep, because that's when you do just cause your own problems.
There's a ball across the halfway line. Interested Kiefer Moore, he couldn't get to it. And now Millwall again on the halfway line. Duongo again driving forwards, works it down the right hand side, 25 yards out. Leonard prods it in. It's a cute idea. This time Doyle isn't penalised for shirt pulling, but Wrexham lose the ball. Cody concedes the throw in the end, and another chance for Leonard to hurl this one in. And we don't want to be conceding so many throws by here.
No, I thought it was an opportunity for Cody just to get out his feet and release it early. He's got men in front of him. He can try and just, we've done it a number of times, but he just goes back to that danger, back into Ivanovic. And now another chance for Millwall to get the ball into the box.
Long throw again, and Moore may have been held down. He did really well to improvise a volley clear, a donkey kick almost. And it goes out to the left flank. Kundle closed down by Longman. Turns and gets the chance to run at Longman. It's 2-on-2 there, and he rolls it down the line for Imaku. Imaku wins a corner. Good defending that, just sliding in to block it by Dobson. But the pressure continues on Wrexham's goal. Sam Smith's been warming up for a while. I feel like this game, the way that they're maybe leaving the back door slightly open, Millwall could suit him.
Yeah, and Hardy obviously played 90 minutes on Tuesday.
Yeah. Referee has seen some shoving in the box and stops the delivery of the corner. It was Cooper and Kakache. Kakache ended up on the floor. So an in-swinger again from Imaku. Three big men lurk just beyond the penalty spot. Nackley is on Ward. The ball swept it on the far post and goes behind for the goal kick again. Millwall asks for a penalty, but unconvincingly, although Cranmer is continuing his complaint.
Yeah, Doyle's just got to be a little bit careful. He's getting really tight to players, and he's done really well so far. Just the one he possibly got right without letting Ivanovic go for that little 1-2. Got the yellow card for it, but being on the yellow, he can't give the referee a decision to make.
I always find it difficult to judge much. There's a chance here to play it down the flank here. Longman's given a good angle to Cleworth, but Cleworth hasn't played him in. Dobson, now he finds Longman. Sturge steps out to meet him, feeds it to Moore, who sees a chance to clip it over the top. That's a good ball. Hardy's made a good run. Little Brian's in the middle. Hardy doesn't deliver early. He's got a man coming at the far post and nearly picks him out. Moore was on the blind side there, but Luongo made a crucial header. And as Coburn looks to try and back into Cody, he steps past and wins it. O'Brien helps on and nearly sends Hardy one-on-one. Big interception by Cooper. Millwall on top, and Wrexham coming forwards with him, really getting into great positions as Dobson has tackled. Great work by Coburn tracking back, and great header by Ivanovic, got it really high. Found Knackley, who gives it away, and Wrexham come again. Dobson looking for the diagonal. Kramer intercepts and slices it. He's lucky Sturge is there to pick it up. He lets Longman get close as a scruffy clearance. Kundal helps him out, and it's hacked away again, this time by Cooper. James wrestling with Coburn. Brilliant recovery header by James, who jumps over the top of the big man and heads it neatly to Cody. And now Wrexham again. Longman has got Sturge isolated, rips the ball to the near post. Cooper slices it behind for the corner. Good intensity from Wrexham there, just fighting to win it back every time.
Yeah, and Millwall have definitely been on top this second half, but when Wrexham have come forward, Millwall have looked a little bit leaky at the back. Just feel like Wrexham are going to get a few more chances in this game, and can they just put it to bed before we allow Millwall any more opportunities to get back into this? Just the one going before that chance. O'Brien made a brilliant run in. I just thought Ryan Hardy could have done it a bit earlier, just put it on the floor, because O'Brien stayed in front of his man the whole way through on that run.
Sam Smith is ready to come on. Referee has just waited to see if Wrexham do want to make the change now. And this is the obvious one. Hardy, who has put in a very good 70-minute shift after, as Mia said, putting in the full 90 on Tuesday, who will make way. But yeah, I just feel this could be a Smith sort of situation, because there are gaps whenever we come forwards, which isn't that often in this half. We look like scoring. The centre-backs, there often seem to be gaps in between them to be able to run in, but and down to desperately make covering runs to try and dig themselves out of trouble, rather than just a natural cover of the other centre-back. We're getting into nice positions. O'Brien is on the corner. Dobson lurks again, available on the corner of the box. Kundal has seen him. Isn't covering him, but is just wandering out, and it is played to him. Kundal comes to him now. O'Brien doesn't go around the outside. Gets it back now. Sweeps in the cross. Headed away well by Coburn. And held up now by Amaku, who hooks it over his shoulder. Straight to Kakache, who brings it down and feeds it straight back to Ward. Plenty of time for the Wrexham keeper. Good right-footed contact. Moore now battling against Kramer. And I think Moore got the touch. And James unlucky. Good idea. Just prodded it forwards just beyond O'Brien's reach as he was looking to run at the defence. But good header again by Cleworth. And here's Longman surging down the right-hand side. They're doubling up on him this time. So he pulls it back. Dobson goes back outside again. And Wrexham are moving around nicely here. Cleworth back to Cody. The Wrexham fans are really enjoying this. When Wrexham are coming forward, Matty James, that's good. He's found space and Cody can see him. Rolls him in. James, languorous ball out to the right. Dobson helps her on. Longman has Sturge isolated. Delivers early to the far post. Too much on that. And Kakache won't keep that in. It feels a bit Ryan Barnety at the moment as well, perhaps too. And that Longman's had a few chances to cross. Maybe.
Well, Imaku just cheating. And so there's sort of leaving three up the pitch whenever the ball goes forward to Wrexham. So Wrexham have got a chance to exploit if they get that opportunity, if they can. But they're certainly on the break, the 3 for 3.
Chance of a break then for Millwall. Snuffed out as Dobson tackled Knackley. Poor pass forwards, mind, by Doyle. And here are Millwall coming forwards once more until a poor pass by Luongo, and the Millwall fans are angry. And here comes
Neil. Alex Neil just furious. Right, get those subs on now. We can't keep the ball.
Well, it's a double change. And off comes Sturge, interestingly. And on comes Rice, Bangura Williams. Also on comes Joe Bryan. He's a left back. and was it? I think it was. Was it Negley who came off? I don't know. The change has happened. Oh no. Mackley's been called across for instruction, has he? I know that second change hasn't been made yet. And it is, yeah, Negley. I've got to be honest, when he got the ball then, I thought he needs to do something now because he's not hurting us. He looks pretty. He's not hurting us. And he lost it. And he's been hooked instantly. Now, Rice Bangura Williams is a homegrown talent. The Millwall fans like him. He's an exciting attacking player. He's been injured. Last weekend, Alex Neil said he wouldn't be fit for this game, but then he came on as a sub on Tuesday. And here he is again. He looks to be just drifting in behind the strikers for the moment. Maybe a change of shape. Let's have a look at how they line up as Longman steps in but can't stop Imaki from feeding it across. Now here is the substitute. Bangura Williams doesn't get hold of the shot, and Ward gets across and holds it comfortably low to his left. But this looks more like a, well, sort of a, well, I'll get back to that in a sec because it's a long clearance. Smith can't get to that. Ward looking to launch it long.
Is that Millwall's first shot on target, actually?
There was the parry by Ward, wasn't it, in the first half, although whether it was a shot or a driven cross that took a deflection is a fair question. Yeah, that's true. Ward's not got any other saves yet to make. Oh, I think there was another slow motion in the first half, possibly. But yeah, Wrexham have restricted them, which is good considering, like I said, we had the worst XG against coming into in the division coming into this match. Millwall looking to build down the right-hand side. It's fed back in the end to Cooper, who helps it across. Big man Kramer to Cooper. First time ball is worked backwards by Coburn. Good run by Ivanovic down the left channel. He's picked out nicely and drills a shot across the face of goal. It'll be kept in and chipped back into the far post. Nobody there, but James misses his header. It's driven wide. Oh, I thought he'd scored then, I've got to be honest. It was smashed by Amaku on the bounce. Ward at full stretch, but it went just wide, but that's roused the crowd.
Well, James's header is not a good one. He's going in, there's nobody around him. Just needs to get something on it to head it up and away, delay your clearance. Just doesn't get anything on it, and it falls for the acrobatic and it flies wide. Danny Ward throwing himself at it, and a few in this stand thought it might have just nestled inside the post, but thankfully it was outside.
I was one of them, I've got to be honest. Wrexham got away with it. Smith wins a good header there. Moores after that. Kramer again does well. And then Smith trying to win it back, but his challenge is well ridden by Brian, one of the subs. It's lifted down the right, looking for Bangura Williams. Good pass that by Leonard. He's wrestling away with Kakache. Kakache forcing him away from goal. Bangura Williams as well to get a turn. Little drag back. Kakache sticks to him well. And it's fed back to the halfway line by Millwall. Quickly switched to the left-hand side and helped down the flank again by Brian. And Maku nutmegs Longman. Cleworth lunges in. Great tackle, throwing 25 yards out. But the Millwall fans, far from turning on their team, are really looking, are really making noise now. And here comes a double change by Wrexham. As you can hear, one of the players coming on is James McLean. So Doyle will come off. He hasn't got the full 90 in him. He's had a solid league debut for us. And he'll be replaced by Lewis Brunt. And then James McLean coming on. Well, we know that Kakache's been struggling with injury, of course, and so he's the other player coming off.
They both make sense.
Yeah.
You know, just coming back from injuries. Doyle just coming in after not really having a pre-season. I've just got to look after these players sometimes. Brunt was brilliant when he came on Tuesday night, and McLean certainly got 15-20 minutes in the locker.
Well, McLean and Brunt are going to have to get up to speed very quickly. They're now the left side of Wrexham's back five.
I think Kakache was superb as well. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Maybe just one or two crosses maybe didn't get quite right, but apart from that, defensively in particular, was absolutely top. So that's an exciting one to watch now with him. Hopefully getting back to full fitness. It's not easy, a player doesn't really know the English game. Millwall away as one of your first games in this league, but he certainly answered those questions.
Absolutely. Well, the throw-in's taken and switched to the other side of the pitch quickly. Here again, Bangura Williams. There's a clever ball down the right-hand side. Ivanovic has got Brunt tight on him. hands all over him, pulling his shirt, really taking the risk. Linesman's right there, and in the end it's a goal kick. Well, if you're allowed to do that, it's great defending. I think they've crossed the line myself. But hey, it is a
well, he's
grey
left
area.
it go though, hasn't he? The referee,
Yeah, true.
right from the start, he's allowed contact, he's enabled blocks. So if you can get up close and get a grip of the players, then he seemed to have been quite happy with that.
Goal kick then. Ward will take. Just over 12 minutes left plus added time. And it should be a fair chunk of that because Morrow's down for quite a while. Here he is wrestling for the ball. Ricochets loose. O'Brien gets hold of it under pressure as well. Finds James again. Instant ball out to McLean. Lifts over the top. That's a teasing ball. And Smith's unlucky. Just couldn't quite reach it. He immediately gestures his appreciation to McLean. It was a nice little scoop over the top. So goal kick to Millwall. How many times has James McLean been sent off in his career? 4, believe it or not, just 4. That man knows how to not get a second yellow. Well, it's Dobson unlucky. He just tries to turn around the corner. Dobson nearly found Smith. It's a poor touch by Kramer and a daft piece of play then by Leonard, who overhead kicks it back towards his defence. They managed to keep hold of the ball, and Bangura Williams, great strength, but equally good strength by Brunt as Coburn tries to get past him. I'm not quite sure. I think the anger of the Millwall fans was directed at their striker then rather than Brunt for being too strong, as McLean nudges Bangura Williams in the back. Not enough to get a foul, although as you can imagine the Millwall faithful were eager for one. Dobson put under pressure, shifts it quickly back to Cleworth, whose clearance is charged down. Ward doesn't mind that. It'll roll for a goal kick, and Wrexham will take a bit more time out of the game.
Yeah, just that snappiness with the passes. Don't give those defenders any chance to get there, but Morad made that channel run. Max just delaying slightly because he's waiting for him to get there. Managed to get a block on him and out for a goal kick though.
Ward's then with the goal kick. Long one offering short. I don't think that was ever really on. Just wasted a little bit of time. Ward knocks it long. And it's Smith winning a good header, getting goal side of Leonard. And there's a wrestling match between the two of them, and surely a free kick to Wrexham. Left hand side, about 35 yards out.
Brilliant from Sam Smith. Exactly what you want from him in that situation. Goal kick. We haven't always secured him off those today, and he does that really, really well.
Here's O'Brien now. Free kick. Millwall just seems to be bringing another sub in from the bench. Mike James is a short option. Millwall hold a line outside the box. And James arrives late on the edge of the area. O'Brien underhits that badly. So badly that the diving header by Luan Benali was misjudged, but he's managed to get it clear. Good foot in by Dobson after a miscontrol by Amaku. Longman sloppy, loses the ball, and again Dobson crunches in hard and wins a tackle thrown the halfway line.
Well, there's a chance for Longman there to just open his legs, but his just touch was too far out of his feet. And Dobson just tidying up for him.
He's done that a lot, Dobson, hasn't he? Fair play to him. Kramer feeding it forward, good foot in. Brunt gets close to Ivanovic and intercepts a hitch kick clear, Frankie Jones style by James McLean. And Kramer does well under pressure to volley it back. Two Millwall players getting each other's way, but they emerge with the ball, and it's spread by Luongo to the left hand side. Brian helping it onto Amaku. Dobson again gets back to try and double up and help Longman. Amaku cuts into the box, nutmegs Longman. Important tackle by Cleworth. It ricochets out. Luongo will keep it going. 30 yards out, he's got an option out wide and little else. Works it to Leonard. Leonard's put under pressure, tries to stab it inside, and O'Brien stretches and intercepts and goes driving forwards and is fouled. Good play by O'Brien, carrying it clear, and just gets again, just takes a bit of time out of the game. I think it's a bit of a harsh yellow because I do think he was going for the ball, but it is a yellow. And now here comes Caleb Taylor, the big centre back, coming on for Leonard, so that'll be 3 at the back, you suspect.
Well, I've been very impressed with Imaku on that left hand side. Mixed his game up really well. He's got a lot of pace, worked for his team back to block a few forward passes, but most of all 1v1 he's looked electric, going past Longman a couple of times, playing a couple of nice 1-2s. Just still got 8 minutes plus injury time to keep him quiet.
Yeah, he's been class, hasn't he? Really impressive as the free kick is taken long and diagonal. Moore flicks it on. Longman gets a nudge in the back, but to be fair, I think it'd be quite inconsistent to the referee to give a foul for that. As to be honest, I think it was inconsistent to give a yellow to Bangura Williams then. He's only just come on. And I thought was looking to win the ball. I know Wrexham were breaking, but anyway, it looks more like it's still a back four, but Kramer's gone to right back. He feeds a nice ball forwards, and Ivanovic is fouled as he spins Brunt. Free kick on the right. Millwall fans want a yellow, but they don't get it.
Yeah, Brunt just needs to be careful on them ones. It's just come in and just got the wrong side of his man completely. Just gives away the foul. Just got to be careful in those situations.
Just really
Nothing
keen,
silly.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Really keen to go and win the ball, and clever strikers, they just roll you.
And that's as much a yellow as Bangura Williams is, one I'd have argued, as the ball's lifted into the far side. Millwall player lunges himself down to the floor. Ref's not falling for that one. And he's on the edge of the box. It's a real scrap and a poor pass, and Smith is trying to get there first. He's done brilliantly. That's a hell of a hard tackle, although Smith was obstructed trying to get there by Kundal. Referee hasn't given it. Fed forwards, well read by Brunt. He's got no support. He goes accelerating, typically in a straight line down the flank. Bangura Williams holds him off. The two of them come together. Free kick given against Brunt, and again the Millwall fans complain. And again, they've got a case, to be fair. But they're roused by this. Just over 6 minutes left, and it's another ball down that left channel, and Cleworth is there and does really well, does he? No, he's got a little touch. It's a corner. Put under pressure by the run.
Yeah, well, that absolute smashing tackle in the middle of the park from the Millwall man. Just got everyone with a Millwall hat on off their seat in here. It's just gone up a few decibels. That's not what Wrexham need.
Taylor, the debutant, is up, of course. They got three massive centre-backs on the pitch now. The ball is swung in under the bar. Good header clear by Moore. Longman gets it really well to head it on. Again, Smith is chasing and a bounce. Gelvin helps him out. Can he see this help to the right unmarked? No, he carries it to the left. Well, to be fair, it would have been a difficult pass to pull off if he'd even seen it. He's held it up exceptionally well and found McLean. Back to Smith on the left, and now Millwall have to get back in their own half. O'Brien turns nicely to find space, finds Dobson 35 yards. The fans tell him to shoot. That's not good advice. And Wrexham are moving around well here in midfield, and Millwall back in their mid-block where we want them to be. McLean wins a throw off Bangura Williams. He got his pass all wrong. Longman had popped up on the left.
I was just waiting for Dobson to turn out and play Longman, and he's down here on the left-hand side. What are you doing down here?
That's what we call an overload. Throw in taken. O'Brien feeds it in, and Moore between the lines has found some space, works it out wide to McLean. Pack inside to Moore, who turns, looks up, decides to go backwards and prioritise possession. 5 minutes left. Wrexham having a good spell here of possession in the Millwall half, until Longman walks into trouble. That's unnecessary. Imaku tackles him. Great, immaculate tackle back by Cleworth, and Wrexham get the decision as well. I'm still waving my Barnett for Longman banner.
I
He's
think
making
it'll
mistakes.
happen. Bit of cramp for Longman.
But yeah, Phil Parkson is screaming down the touchline to bring back a sub.
Scar's the one coming back though.
Interesting. So Wrexham with a throw down the line, not a good one. Bryan intercepts, not under pressure. Drills it long, headed clear by Cleworth, helped on well in the air by Dobson, and Bryan volleys it back into the Wrexham half. Brunt underneath it, heads it clear. Smith looks to be coming back from offside position. He doesn't challenge, so I think he knew it, but it's headed straight to Cleworth. Cleworth feeding it forwards, and Wrexham under pressure in their own half, but on the ball. Cleworth lifts it just when Moore dropped off, and he Moore complaining, why didn't Smith make a run in behind him?
We're too far away. It's a long way to go for Smith. He needs to just get a little bit closer. So
Millwall on the right, it is going to be Scar coming on. Ball lifted over the fence. Bangura Williams looked offside there, but McLean's letting get goal side of him. He recovers, but Bangura Williams has it, squares it. First touch by Luongo takes him wide, and he feeds in Kramer, now playing as a fullback. But Wrexham keep their shape, and Dobson pressures well. Just watch that midfield shape now as Dobson got across the pitch to put pressure on the ball. It's worked over to the left, and Imaku rolls it back inside. Kundal and Maku's made the run inside, and it's a decoy. Bryan delivers across. Good header clear at the near post, and a great turn by Moore. No one's ahead of him, but he'll go driving forwards. O'Brien's making a terrific run. Can Moore find him? It's 3 against 1. Moore carries it to Smith. Can he square it? He does, and the defender gets the block. Well, hang on, let's waste the ball. Stayed in. I don't know if all the defenders realise. McLean sweeps it back in forward. O'Brien heads it the goal mouth and more. Heads it straight to the keeper from 6 yards out. A free header. There was just no pace on that ball, and he couldn't get any pace onto it.
Well, the wrong option, in my opinion. Kiefer Moore just roll O'Brien. He's made an absolutely brilliant run down the middle, and he chooses Smith, and then Smith has to go to O'Brien, and the defender does ever so well. And then even off the cross that McLean puts in, headed away.
As a Maku dumps Longman on the floor, drills in the cross. Poor cross, Cluith. Yeah.
But what a chance. O'Brien does brilliantly to get something on it back across, and it falls to Moore 4 yards out, either side of the keeper. And it's a goal straight down the keeper's throat.
Well, that was the game right there. Goodness me. We got 2 minutes left. As Millwall come forwards once more. There'll be plenty of time, like I said, added on. Cramer swings to the far post. Too much on that goal kick. Wrexham will take the time over that. And now Dan Scarr will come on. Wow. It's been emotional. Nearly there, but still hard work to go. Yeah, the way when Moore, he did so well to carry it, and it just all opened up beautifully and became a 3-on-1. But, just roll O'Brien in. A Longman for Scar's an interesting one.
I think Max
is
going to go out onto the right-hand side.
Well, it's a more defensive option to try and cover Imaku, who clearly is so dangerous. Cody is just G'ing up his teammates. Millwall making another change. That's Daniel Kelly, a midfielder. He's going to come on. He's replacing Kundl. He gets a good round of applause. I think understandably so. He's been very industrious in midfield. I've liked the combination of Luongo, who's been very strong, carrying the ball as well, and then Kundl, who just looks to drift about and make things happen. So Kelly comes on. Ward then. 30 seconds before we find out how much will be added on. I'm going for 8. That's my prediction. And he's shocked.
Don't do that to us.
I don't want it. I'm just but I reckon that. Well, we'll find out in a second. Ward knocks it long. Aidan Davison looks over the fourth official's shoulder. Good header clear by Taylor. But it's helped on by Dobson. Important little interception in midfield again by Luongo. And Millwall can come forwards with Bryan once more. Works out wide. 7. I was going to say 7. I changed my mind. Long time to add on. Long time still for Wrexham to dig in. As on the right, Cramer comes inside. Wrexham are a bit deep in midfield. It's worked out again. Bangura Williams has McLean isolated, and he looks to have the beating of him, but he delivers early to Marku, and Cluith's back there as a right wing back now, so he wins that header. Marku decides to keep it in rather than let it roll for a throw, and whips in across to the far post. McLean heads it clear, and that gives it away, and he allows time for Cramer, who digs it, and diving header goes way over the bar. Corner given. Was a brave header in there by, I think it was Brunt, was it?
Cody, I think he's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
But don't send the physio on too soon, because we don't want him out for the corner.
Exactly. And although it was a knock to the head, he's on his hands and knees. And
if somebody just gives McLean a shout, though, he just lets it go and it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah.
He has to defend it because he doesn't know what's around him.
And I felt maybe I'd rather he just heads it behind anyway, if he can't do that, rather than just head it blind back the way it came. Because it was a dangerous moment, that. Cramer maybe could have had a go instead. So corner, away swinger. Cody's stayed on the pitch. We've had 1.5 nearly now of the 7 added minutes. Referee is ready. Is Marku? No, he's not. The referee's going to go and intervene. Some pushing and shoving in the goal mouth. Bangura Williams and James McLean. Wrexham fans trying to be heard. Here finally is this much delayed corner. Swept and away swinger, firm header by Moore once more, gets it a long way out. Wrexham trying to evacuate the box. It don't get too far out, mind. Holding a line on the penalty spot as it's fed into a Mac who tries to skin Dobson. Good work. Dobson intercepts. Cleared by James. Nobody up for Wrexham. We're digging in now as the Clock winds down, long ball, Ward comes a long way, doesn't hold on to it. Was he fouled? Ref says not, and it's missed! Oh, it's a sitter. I've got to say, Ward is hurt. He looks really hurt, and the Millwall and Wrexham players both calling for help for him. It looked like a foul, the ref didn't give it, and it was blasted over with no goalkeeper by Nisbet. Ward's looks in distress.
Yeah, well, he made the decision early. He was coming, and there's a little shuffle. He almost stops and changes his mind, but then realises he's come too far to change his mind, so stays there. I haven't seen it back yet, but it did look straight away like it was a nasty one. I'm not sure if it's the ribs or whereabouts, but Wrexham, did he have two hands on it? I think there maybe is a shout for that.
I think are they signalling to make a change? It looks like Okonkwo's going to have to come on. Well, it looked like a foul to me, I've got to say. I thought he was in control of the situation. The ref didn't give it.
Yeah, it was Nisbet though, wasn't it, who it fell to.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure it was Nisbet. Did someone take it off his toe? It's a sitter, whoever it was, and a wild thrash over the bar.
You've got to hit the target with no keeper in it. You've got half a chance.
Yeah.
To zing it over 5 yards over the bar as well. It wasn't even close.
It's going to be a long amount of added on time, and it's never fun for a goalkeeper to come on a game. Certainly in these circumstances. Phil Parkinson's got a whole team across, all the outfield players, of course, and having a good long talk to them. Okonkwo is ready to come on. But yeah, he was taken out. A stretcher is now out for Ward. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get back and see a replay of that, because it just looked to me like he was taken out as he came for it. Ward still being treated, still looks uncomfortable. He's on his back, his feet still banging up and down on the turf. And well, it's a worry. Just getting to the point, I think, now on the replay to try and see it again.
Yeah, like I say, I haven't seen it back properly yet, but the good thing is it's going to be a goal kick for when Arthur comes on. You know, it's not like, I think back to last season when obviously we had that terrible thing happen in the Wrexham away end, and we were suddenly under pressure with a corner when we came back out.
Yeah, that's true.
Okonkwo just gets to get on, and he's just got that free kick, and can Wrexham hopefully kill a bit more time. Obviously, there's going to be a few minutes more added after this. Danny Ward's still down, the stretcher has come out.
I'm just looking at it. I mean, he's got the ball for me. He's got the ball. He's smashed into by Cooper. As you're saying, there's a big unit. He's sent flying. Ward
seems to land on his shoulder a little bit.
He immediately gestures to his left ribs as well, straight away. But yeah, that should have been the equaliser, but it shouldn't have been allowed, as Ward is still on his back. So, like I said, that happened in the 3rd minute of added time, so we've had 3 minutes of treatment already. This game's going on a long time more. Ward still not on a stretcher yet, so getting some more equipment out from the bench. Scar trying to keep warm down there on the edge of the area. And I'm just thinking, hang on, how many? No, so we brought on Smith. We brought on McLean.
Well, we've had our 3 windows.
Subs, yeah. But you're allowed to replace a keeper, I think, or are you? Certainly Okonkwo's ready.
Yeah,
so.
he is, yeah.
He still looks uncomfortable, Ward. You can see his legs sticking out. It's not looking great. But anyway. Yeah, they're getting a trolley to put him on rather than the plastic stretcher, just to give him a bit more of a stable ride off the pitch. So that's, again, at least they're making sure that they're doing everything they can for him to get him off the pitch as comfortably as possible. Alex Neil now giving instruction to some of his players. He's really rung the changes, trying to alter things. Cooper is getting instruction. He went down straight afterwards. Wasn't sure whether he actually hurt himself after colliding with Ward, or whether it was him who maybe swung and took it off Nisbet's toe. I'm still not sure. I'm looking at the replay exactly who put that off target. But certainly it was straightforward chance on the penalty spot, roughly. No keeper. Snatched at.
Yeah, that's the definition of it, snatched at. It's just such a huge opportunity. Obviously the ref didn't blow his whistle. And Millwall are just sucking that ball into the back of that net and just wouldn't. The connection just wasn't right. I think they do kind of get in each other's way, don't they? But let off for Wrexham.
There was a question I mentioned earlier that I said I'd get back to, though I don't know the answer to it. Someone asking, how long before Rathbone is back or Cannon is back. Well, I think we'll have I don't know. I don't think it's anytime soon. Cannon's out on grass training, but not, whether he's actually anywhere near being fit, I doubt. The thing is that you'll probably have a decent idea on Tuesday when we submit our squad list about just how long-term those injuries are, because we're looking to bring players in. Are we going to register them up till January or not?
Well, I think Cannon won't be in the squad just purely off he's 3-4 months maybe away, which would be a year that Cannon's been out, because he's going to need time to get back fit as well, on top of him being able to start running. I know he's been doing a bit of running, but no change of direction and stuff. Rathbone's been very quiet, hasn't it, around it, so I'm unsure about that one as well. Just going back to here, we've made our 3 subs, our 3 windows, and so this is classed as a concussion.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look great, does it, at the moment, because they've not been able to move Wardy at all. No.
I mean, the other thing with this injury as well, I understand you've got to register the goalkeepers in the Championship. You didn't have to in League 1 or League 2. So the goalkeepers, you could have as many as you want in essence on the books. You don't have to register them. You now have to register your goalkeepers. But I understand there's some wriggle room to maybe register 2 and not declare the 3rd, but because they're at the club, if there's an injury, they can be used instead. Not an emergency loan, because they're still your player, but you can maybe squeeze an extra body on your squad list by doing that. But whether we were looking to do that or not, we have an issue here, of course, with Danny Ward with this injury. It looks like they are now starting to assemble the stretcher for him, to the gurney, to put him onto that wheeled, more stable stretcher that they've got. And there's the hush over the ground now. We're into the 10th added minute. So the game stopped in the 3rd, and there's supposed to be 7. And there was a fair bit of the first minute wasted as well over a corner, as the referee was stepping in and intervening a couple of times before it was allowed to be taken. So it could be here all night. Ward has had the gurney, I think, put around him now. Okonkwo was pacing up and down. He's had a little bit of a warm-up on the pitch with Davidson. Keeper coach. And he's now waiting, eager to get on. Jarvis says even in rugby, if someone gets taken out in the air going for a ball, it's a foul. This is what happens when a ref lets a lot go. He's in these sort of situations as well. Players aren't going to pull out, are they? A centre-back like Cooper, who's a big unit, is going to hurl himself at it. I'm not trying to have a go at him in terms of looking to hurt anybody at all, but I am just surprised. I mean, it's not as important as Ward's welfare, but it's a good job they missed it, because that would have been an appalling decision by the referee to allow a goal there.
Yeah, I think the manner of obviously our goal as well probably doesn't necessarily help the situation. Suddenly, if he does blow his whistle, you've got Millwall fans saying, "Oh, you're protecting their goalie, but not ours." And that's not me for 1 second saying Kiefer Moore's was a foul, because I didn't think it was. I thought that was a completely fair goal. But it's another thing that maybe the refs got in the back of their mind, which obviously we know we shouldn't really have, shouldn't come into play. But that's just sort of human nature. Those things do.
Sharon saying, "Who's our 3rd keeper?" Well, Callum Burton is our 3rd keeper, who of course made an excellent impression last season coming in for Arthur Okonkwo, and then got a freak injury which put him out until almost the end of the season. It was a funny one, that as well, because everyone at the time thought he dived for a cross and tried to punch it clear and didn't get up again, and everyone thought he'd pulled a thigh muscle, it was thought. But it was his calf, apparently. Before then, he took a goal kick, and it was a complete freak injury. He took a goal kick, and I'm sure he said on Mark Howard's podcast his calf separated from the bone, which is, I mean, I'd argue is probably going to sting. I mean, I don't know much about muscle injuries because I haven't got many. But, and he was saying that he's never had any sort of muscle injuries in his entire career, and then just a freak when taking a goal kick. That happens, flaming hell. And he actually stayed on for a little bit, bizarrely, before eventually he went off, and he kicked off again to try and get to the ball and just went down. Gavin Francis was a broken collarbone, didn't look like it at all. He seemed to be fielding his chest a bit lower down. Like I said, ribs probably is. I've watched enough cycling to know collarbone, the hand goes straight to your collarbone, up to your shoulder. But a very heavy landing and a heavy collision as well.
Well, another Welsh international as well, sadly.
Yes.
Sorry, Bellas.
Yeah, exactly.
few issues here, but obviously we wish Danny our absolute best. It's obviously really not a nice one at all. You know, it's often a sign when you are down for this long that there's a bit of, you know, obviously Kevin Mulholland down there, doctor, worried to move him too much because there's obviously some sort of issue.
Yeah, just as you said, a High Desert Dragon was saying Wrexham of all these international players, we keep breaking them. Yeah, that's true. Broadhead's out, isn't he now? Kakache picked up an injury. As the Wrexham fans now, he is on the stretcher. The Wrexham fans are singing his name and applauding. And the Millwall fans likewise at their end. But there's still not any rush to move him. They've got him on the stretcher at least. And this is a horrible way to end the day. Ward. Yeah, still not being moved yet.
No, but the pressure moves on to Arthur now. How's your bottle? It's coming to a game like this. You know, obviously Millwall going to be really pushing. Going to be keen straight away to try and test him early on as soon as he gets on the pitch. But can Wrexham try and hold on to that ball, try and kill it a bit again, not give Millwall a sniff.
Well, here is Okonkwo. A lot of Millwall fans standing up and applauding him as he's taken off on a stretcher, and let's hope that somehow it's not as serious as it looks and a rib injury that he can just heal from. So Arthur Okonkwo comes on in the 106th minute of added time. You know, like you say, it's technically a concussion injury, even if it's not concussion.
What we got then? 5 minutes left.
Well, okay. Right. So yeah, exactly. It should be about 5. So we should go to about 110 because we played essentially 2 of the 7, hadn't we? Brunt heads clear, Moore knocks it off the hand of Luongo. Can't believe he's not given handball for that, the ref. He was quite close, Luongo, but his hand was right up. Poor ball, but Cleworth rather turned his back on it, and it comes off his heel. Brave by him to step in and knock it out of play. Now Millwall can get another bridgehead in Wrexham's half. Throw in left-hand side. Brian takes it short and gets it back to Kelly, who feeds it back into midfield. Luongo keeps it moving across the halfway line. Taylor, he's made a mistake there. Didn't lose it to Smith, but O'Brien, well, looked like he was fouled, not given. Surprising that. It appeared to be a shirt pull. Fed to the edge of the area to Ivanovic, who helps her on. And it's good footwork, but then the shot is blocked. Prodded back in. Fed back to Ivanovic, who works it wide early. Crossum Kramer is horribly mishit for the goal kick. Wrexham are furious. It looked like, well, the handball was pretty clear. And then O'Brien looks to be pulled to the ground, and neither was given. Wrexham furious.
Yeah, there's a couple in there that the referee could have brought up for us. The handball, it just pops up, it lands right in the Lutgad's path, so that's a handball for me. And then O'Brien uses his body really well and is pulled back. Surely, ref, but nothing given, but still got to defend it. play to the whistle, as they always say.
Kiefer Moore, I thought, was gesturing as he hurt his wrist then. I wasn't sure. Nothing's happening, it seems. You've got to be honest, any more subs now. As Smith gets up well and wins a throw-in high up in the Millwall half. That's what Wrexham want. 7.5 added minutes played. So we should have 2.5, 3 minutes left, as Moore is going to get a very unnecessary yellow card. He was like demanding that one of the subs, was it? Or was it a ball boy? Give him the ball.
It was the ball boy who reluctantly, I think, knew he was about to walk away from it and picked his moment. Well played ball boy there, I think.
Yeah, it was an odd one. He's an old ball boy, I've got to say. McLean to O'Brien, a return pass over Het and smashed clear. Wrexham could have kept the ball more carefully. Dobson's done well. Finds Smith, he does well. McLean, cute ball into the box. O'Brien is goal side. Can he finish? Yes, he can! Wrexham win at Millwall in the 109th minute. And my goodness, the stadium is evacuating. The Millwall fans are walking out in their droves. But what a great clip in by McLean, and what a finish by O'Brien. Tight angle, lifted it over Bender, and Wrexham, we're back in the second tier. 2-0 up at Millwall. Wow, great finish by O'Brien.
Well, it is, and it's the ball as well is just superb from James McLean. I mean, that's how you silence the place, isn't it? Wow. But like you say, the finish as well from Lewis O'Brien, so good, so controlled, just gets that eye on the ball as it loops over his head. So good from Wrexham just to absolutely certify their first 3 points back in the Championship.
But what he does ever so well is he just steps across the defenders who's trying to go to the ball. He steps across him so he can't do anything about it. He leaves the ball on his left-hand side, and is he able to get there before it bounces to the keeper? Yes, he can, with a delicate little toe over Bender for the second.
Tremendous finish, like you say, so cute. It's bouncing awkwardly in front, but the way he takes the defender out the equation, doesn't he, with the use of his body. Now then, I'm not sure what's...
just losing your orientation, you know, when the ball's coming over your shoulder and you don't know where the keeper is, whether he's coming. He sees that, then he uses the steps across the defender. I'm telling my 12-year-old constantly to step across the defender. They can't do anything about it. And then he just, brilliant, has the composure to finish well.
There has been some sort of incident. The referee has just spent a good minute or so talking to the fourth official. So I don't know whether the Millwall fan didn't appreciate McLean setting up the goal, or... But anyway,
maybe something in that corner where they went running off to.
The stadium has emptied. It really has. As Amaku feeds edge in, Wrexham need to close out that clean sheet now as well, and just make sure the ball in. There's a good one, and the header goes wide, put back in the goal mouth. What a save! Was that a Conquo? If you got a hand on that, that's a ridiculous save. Fed back in again, and O'Brien does brilliantly. He wins the ball, brings it clear, loses it then. That was a ludicrous save by Okonkwo. Oh my goodness me. Shot comes in just over, but that save by Okonkwo was insane. What a strong wrist right on his goal line after a close range shot. Looked certain to go in. Wow.
Well, the clean sheet is the thing that I'm sure Parkinson, he wanted the win first and foremost, but the clean sheet would just be the icing on the cake, and they've just let up a really good chance. But Okonkwo so sharp to it, coming on's not that easy. Hooked in, Ivanovic I think it was, brilliant hand, and cleared the danger well.
Goal kick taken, and it's headed away by Taylor. Dobson can't win it in midfield. Millwall still fighting, but they haven't got many fans watching. I've got to say, it was amazing how quickly they've evacuated. Free kick in the centre circle. Millwall, like I say, to be fair, they're still showing a lot of hustle. Big diagonal. McLean's after that, and crammed as well to volley it to the edge of the area. Ivanovic had lay off his paw. Driven away by James to the halfway line. We've played 21.5 minutes of added time now, way over what I'd have thought he'd have added, despite Ward's injury. Throw to Wrexham in our own half. Surely the ref's close to ending this now.
Yeah, well, Sam Smith just again does really well. Great striker play. Wrexham, not easy that after a long stoppage to get back into it and do what they have done. They deserve a lot of plaudits.
Long ball over Wrexham's defence. Scar is run into, does really well to sneak a foot around his man and still get it. And there you are. For the first time since 1982, Wrexham win in the second tier. Their fans are thrilled. Last time we won in the second tier against Rotherham, we got 2 points. That's how long ago it was. But wow. A game which obviously is dominated by that nasty injury at the end for Danny Ward, who had to leave on a stretcher after a long period of treatment. But Wrexham win it with a tremendously brave header by Kiefer Moore, who took a punch in the face for his trouble from the keeper after a perfect cross from Max Cleworth. And then after that long stoppage, incredibly, in the 18th minute of added time, a real showboating goal. McLean scooping the ball over the fence. And O'Brien, such technique to protect the ball with men on him and lift it over the keeper when the ball's bouncing away from him. A glorious goal. Millwall missed a complete open goal after Ward went down. Astonishingly, it wasn't given as a foul as he was taken out by Cooper. But Wrexham, well, sometimes you just got to go toe to toe and match fight with fight, and Wrexham have done that in spades. A brilliant 3 points that.
It is a brilliant 3 points. It's also a really important 3 points, because the last thing we wanted was to be going into this international break. I know we've got a few going away, but a lot of them will be staying in Wrexham. Not sure yet if they'll obviously be still in. I would assume they probably will be for a few days, but that's exactly what you need as a group, not to be in those sort of long stretches without a game, thinking you're still chasing that first win. So that's massive for that dressing room, for that atmosphere that they've got that now, especially at a difficult place to come, this Millwall. I know they haven't been great at home so far, but 2 wins out of 3, that's not bad for a team who have solidified themselves in the Championship over the last few years. Finished high off last year and obviously going to be pushing for a similar sort of finish this year. So that feels really big. Clean sheet too. Obviously the only downside being that Danny Ward injury. We obviously send him our best and hope that's nothing too serious. But then Okonkwo coming on and making a fantastic save as well. So many positives to take from it. Kakache looking really bright. Doyle, really good debut in the league. And then James McLean coming on and equally providing something special on the away day he was looking forward to most.
Yeah, I think a fairly even game, but we've spoke about moments in the games previously, and we've taken those moments this time. The important defensive blocks that we've had to do today, important save by Okonkwo at the end, but the 2 moments that we've had in front of goal, we've taken them today, and the clean sheet will mean so much to Phil Parkinson and those back 3, because they've had a little bit of stick so far, but a clean sheet away, pretty much the perfect performance, and a 2-0 away win in the Championship is not to be sniffed at, and that's us off the mark with a W.
I mean, Kiefer Moore's there as they walk off the pitch, shaking his fist in celebration with the fans who are singing his song. Matty James was the first there, and he was really going nuts. There were some big performances out there. Matty James first, I thought, was excellent. Not only was he excellent, but he did some of the most important things. You know, that sliding tackle. Some of the quality he showed was terrific.
Yeah, I thought the 3, to be fair, in there. I know Dobson had a couple of moments where he made a couple of wrong decisions, but his recoveries were really good, and defensively, again, stood out again today. Really protected that back line at times, and obviously O'Brien as well, obviously getting his goal. Probably could have had a couple more chances. Made some really good runs. He's so keen to get forward, but equally keen to get back. That's exactly what you want from a midfielder in that 3, because sometimes we do get caught open in those spaces with our obviously wing backs flying forward, so he's got to have that desire to get back and equally to get forward, and he has that in abundance, and he's deserved another goal today. That's 2 for him in the league now. Could he be a bit of a Ollie Rathbone sort of goal scorer for us in terms of that importance in the Championship, like obviously Ollie Rathbone was for us last year in League One? We're just going to have to wait and see, but like we say, so many positives to take, and makes that journey home for all those Wrexham travelling fans a really happy one.
And the centre-backs as well. Good debut by Doyle. Cody made so many interventions, reading the game in the goal mouth. And Cleworth must have like a backwards puma planted on his head now. The number of times he won headers in that box, I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah, they'll be delighted with the clean sheet. In the first half, they got done a couple of times this side, but they ironed them out seemingly on that in that second half. And Cody certainly helped a couple of times when they did get through to cover across, and I thought he was loads better in his positioning, and those crosses that did come in that first half, he was there to clear. But they'd have spoke a lot in the week, I'm sure, and the previous two, of how we can help this team and how do we keep clean sheets, and it's fight for your lives and help each other out and don't give up easy chances, and we've been so much better today.
When you see we've had problems with players getting around the back of our defence and putting crosses in. Well, we had a lot of that going on. We had quality with the Maku, and then Bangura Williams came on as well. And Sturge, who I was slightly surprised to see go off, because he was, as we said throughout, combining so well down that left-hand side. It's pleasing to see us keep a clean sheet and deal with the sort of things which we maybe weren't dealing with so well the last couple of league games.
Yeah, we spoke about that sort of shot statistic before the game and early on in that second half about how many we are giving up, and then that just equals obviously a higher XG for the opposition. But it felt like today, listen, we weren't necessarily cutting it off at source, which is obviously the next step, but when them balls were coming into the box, we were making first contact or second contact and not allowing those type of shots, those movements that have caught us out so many times in the last few weeks in that tight area in the box. We were cutting it off, and that's so positive to see, because that's one of the biggest critiques obviously we've seen over the last few weeks, and one of the biggest things that has caught us out. So you can see that progression already. And listen, one of the first things we obviously said at the start of the season was we've got to give these players time, but already when you're seeing these sort of positives and improvements, it's so big and a huge plus that we can now, like I say, go into this international break a little bit of time off for these players to rest up, recharge again, and then another decent stint before another international break in October.
Phil Parkinson's down on the side of the pitch, had a big grin on his face. He's waiting to do the press conference. He looked like a very happy man just then, and so he should be. You look at players gelling, and that looked more coherent, and I'm sure a lot closer in many ways to what he's envisaging for this squad.
Yeah, and he's just had a quiet word with Kev Mulholland as well. He'll be straight on the phone to see how Danny Ward is and what that is going to signify over the next couple of weeks. But it looked a bad one, didn't it? Whether he's fell on his shoulder, whether he's fell on his arm, ribs, whatever. He was in some uncomfort lying on the pitch, and just wish him the speediest of recoveries.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kiefer Moore as well, as we saw on Ask Wrexham, we seem to be breaking our Welsh internationals. Broadhead wasn't fit for today, and then Kiefer Moore took a punch in the nose for his goal. But I mean, it was such a good header, wasn't it? It was tremendous centre forward play.
Yeah, well, like we said in comms, when he pulls off at that back post, he's very, very difficult to mark, and maybe should score a few more goals with his head, with his height. And he's just so brave, in my opinion. You're quite easy to take your eye off the ball when you see the keeper coming. But it's the first time really today that he got away from his marker and was able to take a run and get a run off 1 foot to go and head it, and he just nicked it in front. And it doesn't matter if you've got a bleeding nose or a broken nose even, it doesn't matter, because the ball's ended up in the back of the net, and it's well worth it.
Absolutely, and it was well worth coming down here. What a big win for Wrexham. Like I said, a historic win for Wrexham, but yeah, one which was very hard earned. Everyone took a bit of a battering. But when you come away from Millwall with 3 points, you know you've really earned it. Brilliant stuff for Wrexham, and we're up and running. Fantastic to see. Well, we won't be around next week. Oh, actually, we will have the women's first game of the season at Britain Ferry next Sunday. Will be carried live and free on the club website, so it'll be an absolute pleasure to bring that to you as a new season starts. But yeah, 3 huge points for Wrexham, and well, that certainly makes going into national break feel very good indeed. With a final whistle. With the final score, there was a final whistle, but I don't know what. Well, that's got to do with anything. With the final score of Millwall 0, Wrexham 2, we've been Andy Morrell, Mia Roberts, and Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC. Better get down there, I suppose.